Welcome back. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on back to Damon Bruce Plus as we get ready for day 2 of the NFL draft. And thanks to not just one, but 2 trades out of the first round, the 49ers are in business right at the front of round 2. We have got them with the first overall pick of round 2, number 33 overall in the draft. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the 49ers on the phones right now looking to trade back from this pick 2. The options really are endless right now. Only 32 names have come off the board, and there's a ton of talent out there and how the 49ers want to play this over the next hour or so here as we get into the second round. It should be pretty fascinating. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you for hanging out. It's great to have you here. Let's go ahead. We'll set a little super chat goal. So we'll make it a mild one here. Just 30 throughout the night. Boom. Yeah, we're gonna go all the colors. Boom, 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 boom. Probably should have done this before we started, but we want to go ahead and just ask for a. Oh, we're gonna go ahead. Boom. All right. So we are underway. We are officially now underway. And thank you so much for being here. Brought to you by Prize Picks. Thanks so much to Prize Picks for sponsoring Damon Bruce Plus. And of course, my man Ike, I don't know what your dinner plans are this evening. I don't know what your lunch plans are this weekend, but a sandwich from Ike's is always a delicious thing to go and pick yourself up, bring into a room. You're hanging out watching the draft tomorrow with some buddies. Check out Ike's Catering, and you'll walk in like a conquering hero, no doubt about it. Thank you very much for coming on by tonight, and we will see what the 49ers do here in just a little bit. Again, trading back down is absolutely, I think, in play here. I would like it if the name were Chase Basantes. I would like it if the name were Cassius Howell. I think that getting beefy is the right way to do this. Wide receiver, running back help, skill positions. This could be a safety. Obviously, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is a name that has really come into focus for the San Francisco 49ers. I think that would be a good pick, but this is just trench warfare, this entire league right now. And I think they need to get better in the trenches with either a guard in Basantes or somebody to help go ahead and finally sack a quarterback. It didn't happen nearly enough last season, so it needs to start happening this offseason. They have improved at wide receiver through free agency. They have improved at cornerback through free agency. And look, I still think tackle depth could be a problem for the 49ers. You are one Verdarian Lowe injury away from nobody else is allowed to get hurt. But I don't think they're going tackle with guard being in need and so many tackles already coming off the board. There was a run at tackles in the first round of this draft. It started at number 9, and then all 6 of the tackles that I think the 49ers would really consider are off the board. So now they're looking exclusively in the department of, hey, let's just go ahead and take a guard here. And there are options out there, man. There are absolute options for the 49ers. How did they get here? Well, they started by trading with the Dolphins last evening. That sent 27. The Niners sent picks number 27 and 138 to Miami to get to 30 and 90. So back into the third round is what the Niners accomplished last night. They didn't add many picks, though, because, again, they only added 1. They started the day with 6. Now they have 7. And if they would like more, right here is the place to do it. I did a show with Kruger this morning where we talked about, is Mac Jones possibly going to be on the trading block? I really don't think he is going to be. But we got the Niners on the clock right here, right now. And we're either going to see the next 49ers name revealed to us or they are working back from this moment. I think it's going to be fascinating to see what they do, no matter what they do. But they traded 27 and 138 to Miami for 30 and 90. Then they went ahead and they traded 30 to the New York Jets for number 33 and 179. The Jets used 30 on Omar Cooper Jr., who was a name that the Niners were interested in. No doubt about it. KC Concepcion, another Niner interest target off the board. I think we're maybe going to take Keelan Rutledge last night, the guard. But when he went off the board to Houston, that's when they decided, let's move out of the first round entirely. So it picks them back up a pick. it's certainly going to save them and help them in cap room, not paying an NFL first rounder over the course of a rookie deal. The price of business gets cheaper the later you move on in this draft, and starting your draft class with a second round pick is a lot more easy on the coffers of the 49ers than coming in with a first rounder. So this could work out in a lot of different ways, I think, for San Francisco. It's going to be fascinating to see what they got. Oh, there's a picture of the war room. There's Jed. We got Kyle wearing a smart white kind of polo. We got kind of like a maroony looking jacket there on John Lynch leaning forward. They're not working phones, man. I'll tell you that right now. There is nobody in this picture on the phone right now. So maybe that pick is officially going to go on in, and we're going to see what the Niners do here with the 33rd overall and first pick of the second round. Again, great to see so many names. Thank you for coming on back here. It's good to be with you. Like I said, we got draft picks and cocktails. Cheers to everybody. Let's go. Number 33 and number 58 and number 90. I don't know if we're going to stick around all the way to number 90 here. We might post a little independent video of that, but we're just going to hang out to see what happens here. I mean, I feel like I'm just all talked out. You know what needs to happen. It's time to start building a younger, better football team. But the first step in that might be trading back again. I know everyone last night got a little bit of the draft blue balls, right? You wanted to see a name. You want to know whose jersey you're going to go ahead and put in that next order. Little patience. And I know that when it comes to patience, Niners fans are running out. I get it. I really, really do. I don't want anyone to run out of patience here. What I would like you to do is hit like and subscribe, though. If you're not already liking, subscribing, and hitting that notify button, why are you even here? Why are you here? So thank you so much. We already got nearly 150 people watching, but only 46 of you have gone ahead and tapped that, hey, how are you? I like you button. Hit that like button right now. We are under 4 minutes away here as the clock is running on the 49ers here. You know, Pregnon is a guard that is out of Texas, out of Oregon, who's really, really good. I would rather see Chase Basantes, though, the guard from Texas A&M. This guy is just a beast. I mean, you go ahead and you watch the film on him. He does not like defenders in front of him. He hits everybody. He hits them hard. He really, really does. I love him as a player. I kind of came to him a little bit later on in the process. Let me go ahead, bring this up here. Got all the information that I absolutely need. You know, talking who is out there. Caden McDonald, if they wanted to surprise everybody and go with another defensive tackle. This guy is a run-stopping machine. Kristen Miller, same thing, a run-stopping machine. Either of those guys can probably be had a handful of picks later from right now. So why not go ahead and trade back one more time? But I will just say, there is nobody in the 49ers war room, at least according to this camera shot on ESPN, who has got themselves a phone in their hand. All right. Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? Go ahead. Put it in the comments right now. Get going. We don't have much time. Who do you think the 49ers are going to take here? Do you think that the 49ers are going to trade back again here? Let me see what you got. We got Roy's place. Perfect. After this draft, the Giants come on at 7:15. And let me tell you, I got some Giants in my prize pick lineup. We will get to that a little bit later on in this live stream here today. But check out Prize Picks. It's a fantastic way to have a little fun while you're watching the sports that you already care about. You just select more or less on player stats, and you put together a lineup, and you go to war with that. Tonight, I've got a little more or less in terms of first inning runs, and I need a hit out of both Devers and Adames this evening for the San Francisco Giants. I made a couple of baseball lineups out because my basketball lineups have just not been coming through for me over on Prize Picks. But check it out and make sure you check out Prize Picks on the description that is in the very live stream that you're watching right now. The pick is in. Let me check any and all Niner trusted agents and reporters. Nobody's talking trade. Nobody is inside. with they're trading back. So I think we're about to see the identity of the newest San Francisco 49er revealed here. That's a good way to start the video. It's a good way to start the night. Again, trading back one more time, I think it could happen. After that, then it becomes a game of don't get too cute. Don't get too cute. That parking lot is packed in Pittsburgh. They had over 300,000 people there. It looks like about 175,000 have hung around for day 2 here of the NFL draft. I think we're getting a little stock footage there. They still said that there was 5 minutes ticking down on the pick here for the 49ers. No, there isn't. This pick is in. What is it going to be? Who is it going to be? They should go O-line, but I'm sure they'll go receiver. I just don't think they're going receiver here. I don't. Dropping in to say LOL at 180 people watching. Damon, you suck. Thank you very, very much. We're just at the beginning here. Let's see how we do here. Andy Lee is out for the Niners punting. Andy Lee is out announcing this this draft pick for the 49ers. Didn't think we would see Andy Lee tonight. How about that? With the 33rd overall pick, the 49ers did go wide receiver, Dejon Stribbling. This isn't a player that we talked about once. This is not a player we talked about once. I am stunned to see this name come across the board. Wow. I'm stunned. I got to be honest with you. 55 catches, 811 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns from Ole Miss. Had a very good season for Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss had a really good season last year, no doubt about it. But I am absolutely stunned by that draft pick. That feels like a name that they could have had in the 4th round, for goodness sakes. Is this the latest AJ Jenkins? I'm stunned. You know, he's big, he's fast, he's a vertical threat for sure. Played at 3 schools in 5 seasons, and averaged 17 yards per catch at Oklahoma State. Followed it up with 55 catches, 118 yards. His best ability is to eat up cushion, threaten deep. Okay. I am stunned by this pick. I am literally stunned by this pick. This feels like the 49ers. This feels like the 49ers making a reach when they don't have to. This is the 49ers leaning back into this chart, drafting against the boards in rounds 1 through 3. The San Francisco 49ers reach more than any team in football. This is since 2002. What the consensus big board says, and again, where are you getting your consensus big board? Whose information do you really trust? But this is a name that I have not heard attached to this round, to this position. Well, I'm very surprised. Very surprised. Now, all I can tell you is good luck. Good luck with that. But I'm blown away. I mean, they went wide receiver before they went pass rush. They went wide receiver before they went linebacker. They went wide receiver before they went offensive lineman. And it feels like they got themselves a wide receiver that they could have had an hour from now. I'm very surprised by that. The Arizona Cardinals, their pick is now in. I guess we're going to get a celebrity picker with each and every pick here. Got James Conner coming on out to make this pick. But Niners fans, I got to be honest with you. I need a drink after that one. Dude, this feels like a guy who won't get a Chase Basantes. Texas A&M is off the board. He is an Arizona Cardinal. The offensive lineman that I thought that would really help and be a day one starter for the 49ers is now an Arizona Cardinal. And Wow. Wow. That's all I can tell you. Wow. Clip it. I cannot believe that the 49ers just drafted Dejon Stribbling, who might be a great football player, might show up, and we are all saying how genius they are for taking this guy where they took him. But I don't know if anyone was going to be drafting him today. And with all of the offensive weapons that are still out there, this guy, must really possess something that they really like. But I'm stunned. I am stunned. This feels like a guy who won't have a target until week 5 and maybe not even a catch until week 7, 8, 9. I mean, Jordan Watkins 2.0. They drafted a guy last year. They didn't even bother playing very often. How is this young man going to crack a wide receiver lineup unless Ricky Pearsall is about to get flipped or traded or something here? And I don't think that that's going to happen. But how are you cracking a Mike Evans, Christian Kirk, Ricky Pearsall, Deshaun Robinson, pardon me. Deshaun Jackson would be really good. Deshaun Robinson. How are you going to get in head now of Jordan Watkins and, Cowing? And I think they're going to be throwing the ball to Christian McCaffrey more than ever before. I'm stunned, absolutely stunned by that pick. I cannot tell you that I love it at all. Not at all. No. Regular Ryan says he wasn't even in ESPN's top 50 best wide receivers left in this draft. They honestly could have picked him up tomorrow. With the first pick of the second round, did the 49ers just draft a guy who might have been an undrafted free agent? I'm stunned. Absolutely stunned. I don't want to sit around talking about how it's a disaster, it's a failure. You got to give every rookie a chance, and nothing proves that you can play in this league until you're playing in this league. Where are his snaps coming from? A draft and stash player is not the player that they needed with the worst amount of sacks you've had in football last year with only 20 and more help. There's a hole right now still next to Trent Williams that the Arizona Cardinals decided to fill. Chase Basantes, the guy who I thought should have been wearing a 49ers uniform, is now an Arizona Cardinal. Wow. I'm stunned. The pre-draft analysis. Let's go right to ESPN here. Let me just share it with you because I'm not going to pretend that I am some Dejon Stribbling expert here. He possesses a good frame and top speed and makes plays downfield. Occasionally, he can get lazy at the top of his routes, rounding off and not driving out cuts. After playing primarily in RPO offenses during his career, he'll have to expand his route tree in the NFL. Stribbling has displayed good ball skills in his career, making back shoulder catches and receptions well outside of his frame. He finds open space after the catch. He can take it the distance. He's also a physical runner who's not afraid to lower his shoulder and fight for those extra yards. In the run game, Stribbling is a willing blocker. Okay, well, you absolutely have to be a willing blocker to play in this offense without a doubt. Post-draft analysis, the 49ers moved out of round 1 and took calls all day about trading out at this spot. But with so much high-end talent on the board, they stuck and picked here to address the wide receiver position. Despite adding Mike Evans and having former first-rounder Ricky Pearsall on the roster, the 49ers lack a deep threat. Well, isn't that what Christian Kirk was brought in to be? That's who Stribbling is. With the 4.36 speed, 207 pounds, this is a surprise with Denzel Boston and Jeremy Bernard on the board, but the scheme fit and the need are legit to start round 2. That is from Matt Miller. I would have rather had Chase Basantes or TJ Parker, who come off the board with the next 2 picks. Wow. I mean, it's hard to take a look at the 49ers. It's hard to take a look at the 49ers track record at this position in this department this early in the draft and say, oh, yeah, I bet you they got this one right. Seriously. Perfect kiss. F this. Dominican Niners, I have no words. I have no words. I have no words. G. Boyce, I didn't want Stribbling at 133. I didn't want Stribbling. I didn't think Stribbling was going to be a player whose name was called in this draft. I'm stunned. I can't believe that they got that player at that high of a draft pick with needs. With needs. We got some supers here. Coach Wes Ball says best blocking receiver in the draft replaces Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings is so valuable that right now he has no team. And I like Juwan Jennings, but I'm not drafting wide receivers to be blockers, even though that's a very important thing. But when I think about the impact players and what the Niners need, I'm not drafting a wide receiver to block on the outside this high when I need a left guard to block on the inside. I need a left guard to deal with the trench warfare that now defines modern football, and the 49ers were sorely lacking in last year. At no point in time is Stribbling going to go ahead and sack a quarterback. Could have traded back a lot and still taken him. Vegan Yosh, I agree. What drunk driver is at the wheel for this team? Barry Ford, good to see you, buddy. Barry, again, what is up? All this buildup for no help on the D-line. Wow. Bang, bang. Memphis is in the house. It is great to have you back here, Barry. Thanks for coming on by. But I'm flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. And so are you. E111SJ, disappointing. And I'm not going to argue with you here, Butterscotch Johnson. I bet that guy would have been there in the 7th round as well. He might have been an undrafted free agent. I have not seen that guy's name linked to a single team in a single mock draft in any round, period. Off-grid poser, pouring wine right now. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, best blocking wide receiver. How about taking the best blocking guard instead? 777's T-Mac. I hear you, man. I'm blown away. I am blown away by it. Damon, love you, man. We're sticking to the system, and the system works. Coach Wes Ball, look, there's no doubt the system works. But how many times does this team need to draft the burner that doesn't burn? Danny Gray, anybody? How many times does this team need to select a wide receiver that just doesn't work out and they reached to get him? Dante Pettis, anybody? We just saw last year Jordan Watkins drafted to be this very player. Did you see Jordan Watkins play very much last year? Before that, Jordan Watkins' name was Jacob Cowing. Is Jacob Cowing an actual human being, or is he just a rumor? You wouldn't know by watching the San Francisco 49ers because rookie receivers are hardly ever involved. I'm stunned. I'm getting angry about it, actually. I hate this fucking team, the tattooed Jesus. Now, here's the thing. Let's say they had actually established a level of credibility in the wide receiver department. It feels like that's the position that Kyle Shanahan asked the most out of, yet he does not know what he needs. Now here's Caden McDonald, the best run-stopping defensive tackle in the draft. He's going to Houston. Houston, I think, traded up yesterday and got in front of the 49ers when they took Keelan Rutledge. So they took the guard that the 49ers needed. And then if they were thinking about going more beef on the defensive line, Caden McDonald would not have been a bad pick at all for the San Francisco 49ers. And here's the thing, Caden McDonald wasn't going to last very long. Caden McDonald wasn't going to be here for hours and hours and hours. Dejon Stribbling was a day 3 pick at best. It's a shocking pickup by a team. Again, I want to bring it back up, kids. I want to bring it back up. Hold on. Let me take this down. Let me bring this back up real quick. Because you are what your trends are. Now, say what you want about the big board. Who sets the big board? Who is Johnny Big Board? Well, it depends on where you get your big board from. But I'm going to defy you right now. Go back through any mock draft and show me the big board, the little board, show me the Stribbling family draft board where he was the first pick of the second round. That's where the 49ers do not understand this NFL draft. That is where they get caught up all the time and just do not take a player that anyone else was interested in. They outdraft the big board more than any other team in football. Just look at this chart. Look at their tendencies. They outdraft their position by about 20 positions. And this one is another example where I think they outdrafted it by 100 spots. I don't know if Stribbling would have been selected in the next 100 draft picks. There you go. One more sip, and then I'm going to give you the other angle. He might be awesome. He might be fantastic. He might be this team's best wide receiver 2 years from now. And the way that Ricky Pearsall got such a choppy start to the beginning of his career, maybe this young man comes in and establishes himself right in the very, very dawn of training camp as someone who will be reckoned with someone who is just going to be brought under the wing of Mike Evans and flourish. And absolutely flourish. Maybe there is a world in which this is a phenomenal pick for the San Francisco 49ers. But today, right now, just judging against the language that we've all been speaking about this draft for the better part of 3 months now, the 49ers were just selected a player that has not been discussed by a single Niner content creator, a single NFL scout, a single mock draft. I don't know where they came up with this one and why they thought they had to take this player at the beginning of the round. It's a shocker. It's a shocker. The trade on Stukes, the safety from Arizona, would have made more sense. Had they gone, big reach and taken Bud Clark from TCU, who I think will be on the board when they pick again. That would have made more sense. Why didn't they just take Omar Cooper at 30 if this was the case? Great question. Great question. Why not just take Omar Cooper Jr. if you're looking? Well, Omar Cooper Jr. isn't quite the straight line burner that Stribbling is billed to be. He doesn't have the 40 time that Stribbling has, but if you're looking for a yak yard guy, that was it. You put a player like this under Kyle Shanahan's system, you have him be the least paid attention to target on the field. You get him opportunities to prove himself, and maybe he does. But as of today, this one feels like another one of the 49ers need a little bit, just need to be pulled into a room and talked about. Like, are you guys serious? I mean, I was there. I did that in person the day that the AJ Jenkins happened. I did not make myself any favors down in Santa Clara the day that they drafted AJ Jenkins, where I basically laughed in Trent Baalke's face going, what the fuck did you just do? This feels like a what the fuck did you just do draft pick. Barry Ford says, we're going to be drafting the water boy next, Father Mucker. Got Kim Sugg, bummer. I'm out until game start. Here's a little something for the jar. Thank you very much. Boy, I hope you don't totally go away until game start. Like and subscribe and hit notify and hopefully come on back to us. Damon, this guy might be a nothing name, but when you get a solid wide receiver, like a great wide receiver like Evans, he could teach these players under his wing. Done, there's no doubt about it. You know, right place, right face, right coaching, right system, and it all comes together. And a year from now, you know, we're joking about how, you know, how violently I reacted to the pick in real time. But I honestly had to type the young man's name into fucking AI to get a bio on him because I in all the draft preparation that I've done, his name has not hit my computer once. I have not typed the name or clicked on the name Dejon Stribbling once, which means, if nothing else, I think he would have been there day 3. You could have gotten this guy with a compensatory pick in round 4. I would have been better off. I would have been happier with them taking the running back. Even though I think running back would have been a little bit of a reach with the first pick of the second round. I'm stunned. Vegan Yosh, Damon, please do a wellness check on Larry. Yeah, I don't know what Kruger decided to do this afternoon. What are the Raiders doing here? Matt Millen out to make the Raiders selection. Matt Millen, one of the worst general managers in the history of football. I don't know if that's the guy I would send to the podium. Great guy. Everybody liked Matt Millen, the person. The Raiders picket is in at 38. What are the Raiders going to do? Again, protecting my boy Mendoza would be a great idea. Wouldn't it be funny if the Raiders selected a guard that really could have helped the 49ers right here? Wouldn't that that would make a lot of sense for the Raiders? Do the Raiders make a pick that makes sense for them? Do they go ahead and do they get their trade on Stukes? What do you know? There's another safety that I thought would have been great for the San Francisco 49ers. Trade on Stukes from Arizona is the Raiders pick. Passing on needs for a receiver reach, it's unbelievable. The original Winchester. Yeah, I agree with you. Are we tanking for Arch? G-Boyce 975. No, they're not tanking for Arch. Barry, Larry probably blew his top. Yeah, I don't know where Larry is, what he did, I don't know how he reacted to that one, but he's got to be, he cannot be happy. Find me the Niner fan who's going like, yeah, that's the right pick. That was the right way to do it. It's a stunner. It's an absolute shocker. An absolute shocker. By the way, we have over 300 people watching on YouTube alone. We have nearly 1,000 across all of our streaming platforms right now. If you're on YouTube, please lean in and hit that like button right now. Damon, Vegan Yosh says, could we just draft Bobby Boucher? Dude, Bobby Boucher might have been a little bit of a reach, but again, at least he would have filled a need. You know, Bobby Boucher, that linebacker, the box safety, he could have been a guy that the Niners need. Again, Barry's talking about Waterboy. Could have had Waterboy. I can't believe it. You know, big frame, deep speed, reliable hands, willing blocker. These are all attributes that would fit the 49ers for sure. If this kid is, you know, the best representation of those attributes, okay. That's great. And he will be a valuable player, but he's a player that you probably could have gotten tomorrow. Do the 49ers understand that this player is probably not getting drafted by a single NFL team but them? And I guess they'll say, well, we trust our own eye. We know what we need more than everyone else, but there is enough evidence throughout the years. This is year 10 of this year's regime, drafting. There is enough evidence that they do not make the right choice at wide receiver. I mean, one of the best choices they've made at wide receiver is Ricky Pearsall, and look how disappointing he's been in so many ways. Constantly hurt, the choppy start to the beginning of his career. There's talk of him being traded. Anyone who's sitting around right now acting like, yeah, this is great. Maybe he will be, but it's this is great that you could have had tomorrow, which means he's the wrong pick to start the second round with. There is no one coming for him. There is no one coming for Dejon Stribbling at the top of this draft today. Why did the Niners not trade back? Look at how fast I'm drinking this cocktail today. This was supposed to last the whole damn show. There we go. The brandied cherries are at least hitting today. Unbelievable. Vegan Yosh. Best part of today is we get an extra dose of Damon. Thank you, Vegan Yosh. I feel that strongly about you too. I'm so happy that I get to hang out with you guys again today. Thank you for coming on back. Ben Diesel coming in with a 10 spot for the ganja jar. Reach. He might be pretty good, but he would have been available later. They had more important needs. Jed just needs to go hire experts because Lynch is the Dan Campbell of general managers. All gamble, no winning. Wow. The Dan Campbell of general managers. Man, you might not be wrong. I mean, Lynch has had a few. He's hit a few for sure, but he misses so often early on. Is Inez Cooper still on the board? Yes, he is. Barry Ford. But here's the Cleveland Browns coming up. Let me go ahead and just refresh this real quick, and we will let you know where we are in this draft so far. We're 5 picks into this round. No, excuse me, 6 picks into this round because it started with the San Francisco 49ers taking, here's your boy, Dejon Stribbling. Let me collapse that. Stribbling, Basantis, who made sense for the 49ers. T.J. Parker, an edge who would have made sense for the 49ers. Caden McDonald would have made sense for the 49ers. Colton Hood, the corner from Tennessee, is now off the board. Traydon Stukes from Arizona off the board. And Denzel Boston, the wide receiver that we will be measuring Dejon Stribbling against specifically, just showed up to Cleveland. Because Denzel, by the way, I wasn't excited about Denzel Boston either, but I would have been more excited with his 11 touchdowns than I am Dejon Stribbling. This is the worse than the Rams quarterback pick of tomorrow. You might be right. M. Belias, 4788. You're not wrong. This is more of a reach than Ty Simpson because there was a chance that Ty Simpson was going to go in the first round. There was no chance that Dejon Stribbling was going to go in the second round, much less the first pick of the second round. It's worse than Simpson. It really is. Lynch is the guy who hits on 18 with the dealer showing 7. Drew in Denver. Vegas, baby. You're not wrong, Drew. You are not wrong. The Stevie B says San Francisco's wide receiver rooms were abysmal. Old Evans and injury Ricky don't change that. You lose JJ, wide receiver, edge, O-line with the top needs, size, deep threat, blocking. Had pre-draft buzz. No, there was zero pre-draft buzz. No, that's where I reject it. The pre-draft buzz was non-existent. There was no buzz. This guy was not getting drafted today, but for the 49ers. Mason Thomas, the edge from Oklahoma, off the board to the Kansas City Chiefs. Tattoo Jesus says, the Rams, they take Simpson. Kyle's like, hold my beer. Yeah, I mean, dude, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, here's the thing. I cannot go ahead in time and show you that he was not getting drafted, right? I can't show that to you. I cannot pick that up and show you that because I can't show you things that might not have or may have happened. But in an alternative timeline, there's nobody taking him in the second round. Find me the Mac. Find me the mock. Find me one person that has a reputation that matters. I mean, find me the NFL insider who you respect. Find where they had Dejon Stribbling in their mock drafts. Find me the day 2 selection. Forget the first pick of the second round. Find me the day 2 selection. Would you send me that? Would you forward me that link, please? I don't think that the 49ers understand the game of drafting. I don't. Could have traded back to the 7th for that guy. It feels an awful lot like AJ Jenkins. Again, we got Embolias 4788. What part of only 20 sacks does John Lynch not grasp? Was never heard of this guy, Valrex. Right here. Find me a day 9 selection. T-Guns. Find me a day 9 selection. That's an undrafted wide receiver, I think. Hey, Ken Anderson is making the Bengals draft pick. Ken Anderson's an old man now. Who isn't? Cassius Howell, the SEC rating defensive player of the year, a guy who might have short arms, but I thought Cassius Howell should have been the pick for the San Francisco 49ers. Gone. Again, could have traded back for Cassius Howell. Nope. All I'm going to tell you right now is that Dejon Stribbling better have a better career than every single player selected in this second round. He better have the type of career that is better than everyone who is about to go in this second round. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that's the pick. Here's how much I can't believe it. I need more whiskey right now. I'm not even done with the first Manhattan. You know what? I'm going to get one more cherry out here. God damn it. There we go. These are great brandied cherries. You got that. I'm going to enjoy that. And I'm going to fill this up again. This is for the 49ers draft pick. It's a Friday. We ain't got shit to do. Sorry, my camera get all fuzzy on you? My camera looks all a little fuzzy all of a sudden. I'm sorry about that. I'm not feeling fuzzy, but that was a fuzzy draft pick. I'm stunned. Absolutely stunned by that pick. I literally, I cannot physically believe that that's the draft pick. Christian Miller, gone. Christian Miller, the defensive tackle that Michael Williams was saying is my best friend. Go ahead and get Christian Miller. Christian Miller is off the board. He is a New Orleans Saint. Chardo Nate Dog. Cheers, Damon. Well, cheers to you. Cheers to you. So here's what we're going to do. When did the Niners pick again in this draft, in this round here? 1, 2, 3. What did they? They pick again at 26. We're at 10. Yeah, we'll stick through this and see what the 49ers do. We'll see if the 49ers can't get the next pick of the second round a little bit more in line with how the draft was going to go in the first place and address a need that was an urgent need. Did they need wide receiver for the future? Yes, they absolutely did. And look, here's the thing. I'm absolutely overreacting negatively. There's no doubt. I'm overreacting here. I'll admit it. I'm overreacting. You're overreacting. I'm overreacting. He might be incredible. You might be telling your kids about the day Dejon Stribbling was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. It could be great. It fucking better be. Because this is the reach of reaches. This is possibly again, let me bring up the board again. No one since 2020 has reached more in rounds 1 through 3 than the San Francisco 49ers. And of all of their reaches, this might be the biggest reach of all. So why am I supposed to believe that this time they got it right until I see it with my own two eyes? I am doubting Thomas on this. I am. I'm not going to do the Dave. I'm sure Dave Lombardi's like, oh, great pick. I love Dave. I do. I love Dave Lombardi. Had Dave on during Super Bowl week. I need to get Dave back on again soon. But how can you love this pick? How can you love this pick if you understand the language of the NFL draft? And I'm not saying I'm fluent in the language of the NFL draft, but I think I know enough to know that this guy is here tomorrow. He's available for the Niners in round 3 for sure. They could have taken Chase Basantes and then come back later on in this second round and gotten Dejon Stribbling because nobody was drafting him. Well, Damon, how can you say that? How do you know that? Find me the indicator coming from anywhere on planet football that he would have been off the board. Mary's joining us for a cocktail. Oh, Barry, Mary, cheers to the both of you. Thank you so much, Mary, for being here tonight. Next offensive player the 49ers pick better be an offensive lineman, Vegan Yosh. Yeah, 7 years of sobriety is over after that pick. I'm dribbling all over myself. T-Guns. Here's the thing. Funny, but hopefully you're not true. Chef A. For fuck's sake, Damon. Puff, here's for the ganja jar. Thank you, Chef A, who's a member. And again, if you're a member, you're paying for it up front. So I always am deeply appreciative of members kicking in with supers. But thank you, Chef A. Yeah, is it 420? Oh, we're way past 420. We're already 40 minutes in here. But yeah, if you smoke it if you got it. Smoke it if you got it. Yeah. He's from Ole Miss. He's Jordan Watkins. They just took a player from Ole Miss last year. They better get Pregnon. That's all I got to say. But there's going to be a lot of explaining to do to season ticket holders. Yeah, dude, this would be a good time for Pregnon right now. Larry was live streaming. He said he didn't watch any of Stribbling. Guy could have been undrafted free agent if Larry didn't watch any of them. I mean, seriously, dude, like Larry is an NFL draft gooner. He is. Larry jerks off to the NFL draft. Larry watches NFL draft tape on players who are undrafted free agents like he gets off on it. And if Larry never even watched tape on this guy, I'm not saying that Larry's ready to be an NFL scout or anything like that. In his own mind, he definitely is. And I love Larry. There's a reason why I do 2 shows with Larry every week. I love Larry. But there is, that's one of the things. Did Larry Krueger talk about this guy once? No. Look, Larry Krueger will literally bring up the name of every single draftable and undraftable player coming from college. Like Larry names every single kid who played college football last year as a potential draft pick for the 49ers, and he never even looked at this guy. Never even considered him. That does mean something, regular Ryan. It's got to. We just traded Dee Winters. 49ers just traded Dee Winters. Damon, are you stoned? No, I'm not stoned at all. I haven't smoked anything all day today. Nothing. Just traded Dee Winters to the Cowboys. Okay. Jacob Rodriguez is a Dolphin. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech, would have made more sense. He's like pound for pound, one of the best football players in the draft. And guy won the Nagurski, the Lombardi. If you can win an award for a linebacker, he won it. Niners went with Dejon Stribbling. Dee Winters traded to Dallas. Again, that's a stunner. T-Guns 80, it really is. Well, it's not a stunner. We thought they were going to do it, but, you thought that they would trade Dee Winters after maybe they added another linebacker. I don't know. On that note, I'm going to go get some beer. I'll drink one with you, Damon, as a Niner fan. That was a rough one. Jesus, Ben Diesel. It's a stunner. It really is. I'm sorry. Why am I grainy here right now? I do not know. I'm sorry that I'm grainy on the video. I cannot explain the graininess. Wow. Dee Winters traded to Dallas for what? Traded to Dallas for what? What did they get for Dee Winters? Who's got that? Who's on this? Let me go to Nick Wagner. Nick Wagner, ESPN. Okay. Let me share this. There you go, Nick Wagner. '49ers are trading Dee Winters to the Cowboys for a 5th-round pick, number 152. Okay, great. You know what? At pick number 152, I'm pretty sure they could have gotten Dejon Stribbling, wide receiver, Ole Miss. What are the Lions doing at 44? Derek Moore, the edge from Michigan. Another name that could have been, might have been, should have been for the 49ers. I'm stunned. I really am. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Happy 1-year anniversary of Plus Mania, Tokyo Drift. It was great to hang with you in Tokyo. Is today the day? Was that a year ago today? JP from the 510, it was great seeing you in Tokyo and your beautiful bride. What a wonderful, wonderful bump in that was. Ben Diesel, we already got you. I think we got all of our supers in here. By the way, we did hit more than 30 supers quickly. We got Sean Shepard saying, if the chat hates Stribbling, you know it's a good pick. And if D is gone, CJ Allen is the next pick. Well, I would like CJ Allen. I would. And that would explain, we would know that when I think originally John Lynch went to Georgia's pro day to take a good look at Monroe Freeling. But I think that CJ Allen is a player that he might have really found and liked. And I do think that Oscar Delp as a tight end in the 4th round was a possible option coming out of that Georgia pro day as well. Who is copying New Jeans? Any kickers taken yet? I got to golf clap that. By the way, are we done with being grainy? It looks like the footage is now better again. I certainly hope it is. I apologize for any graininess. Yeah, are they going to draft a backup kicker? You know, just looking for a little Eddie Pinheiro insurance. I don't know what to tell you, guys. I don't know what to tell you other than my overreaction might be completely unfounded, and he's a fantastic football player, a great kid. I've never met him. I don't know how he interviewed. Did he come in for a 30 visit? I didn't even see the 49ers take a 30 visit with him. You know, is he such an exemplary human being that you cannot go forward without having him on your football team? If he's that fantastic, I hope he is. I hope he's outstanding. I hope he's a Pro Bowler. I hope he's a Hall of Famer. But all of that hope, I think, could have been drafted in the 5th round. Stribbling is a reach, but not as much as we may think. Hugh Josky Bear, would you please, in your next chat comment, would you attach the mock draft where you saw his name in any round? In any round, Hugh Josky Bear, will you find me? Would you find me his name in any mock draft? The 5th for a Winters is a Thibodeau trade precursor. Now, if they traded for Thibodeau from the New York Giants, but the Giants, I saw John Harbaugh today say that we're not in the habit of trading good football players. I don't think that Thibodeau is as on the block as he was a day ago. The Giants got better in the 1st round yesterday. I don't think they're trading away a good football player right now. Joe Schmo says they either got nervous or scared. Hey, he's the next John Taylor. Paul Trickey, we needed something good. We needed a good positive thought. We'll take it. Yeah, long snapper not available. Who's copying New Jeans? Long snapper not out there for you? Again, it's one thing. Whether or not he's a good player is one thing. Draft value is another. And I just do not think that the 49ers intrinsically understand value in this draft. You know, Zion Young is a player that I would have drafted ahead, and I think the entire world would have drafted ahead of Dejon Stribbling, and he would have addressed an actual need. Again, I can't watch other content. Dieter says that the Rams loved him, and we should just draft Hoosiers from now on. Well, go Hoosiers. Go Hoosiers. Draft all Hoosiers. Again, if you liked Dejon Stribbling, why did you not just take Omar Cooper Jr., who's a better player, coming from a better program, with better pedigree, with two of the greatest pairs of hands I've ever seen, who is built to fit the 49ers offense? Why not just take Omar Cooper Jr.? Look, I love Dieter. Absolutely love Dieter. Just take Hoosiers, without a doubt. Just take Hoosiers. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers, weren't they leaning into AI this year? Didn't AI tell them, man, you're taking that guy way too early? T Guns 80 again. Look, this is horrible. I'm more intended to agree with you than to disagree with you. I can't believe it. Cannot fucking believe that was the pick. All right, we got the Baltimore Ravens on the clock right now. Baltimore Ravens, which means we're getting closer and closer to the Niners. Let's go ahead and share this tab instead. Let's get back on the clock here. Here we go. Baltimore Ravens gonna select All right, we got a high school girls flag football commercial getting in the way of this draft pick. I've seen there was a girl on my son's flag football team last year, and this little girl was fast as lightning, man. Zion Young, the edge from Missouri, a player that I would have loved to have seen the 49ers attached to all the way back at 33. He goes at 45. You could have traded back and gotten Zion Young. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 picks away from the Niners at 58. By the way, did you see that 57 has a nice Heinz 57 tie-in? You get ketchup for life if you're drafted by the Bears at 57. How much ketchup? Ketchup for life, motherfucker. Cannot believe it. Google Gemini ranks Stribbling as the 17th best wide receiver in this class. Google Gemini would not have drafted Dejon Stribbling. Dan Notary 951 says this draft another case of Shanny and Lynch thinking that their team is way better than they really are. Well, I don't think you can accuse the 49ers of thinking their team is better than they really are when they had almost everyone on the football team hurt last year and they were in the NFC's Final Four. This is a good football team, which is disappointing that they didn't go ahead and address a need with very good players to fill those needs. It's not like you're reaching to address a need with the first pick of the second round. It felt like this was the reach. Again, I think you honestly could have gotten Dejon Stribbling on day 3. You could have had him tomorrow. Josiah Trotter, the linebacker from Missouri. Again, this guy stood out on tape too. You watch any Missouri tape, Josiah Trotter jumps out instantly. He was just selected by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I would have so much more preferred Josiah Trotter. Stunned. Man, I'm so sorry that there's grainy footage here today. I really am. There's still 300 of you watching right now. That is a beautiful thing. Thank you very, very much. You need a guard. You need to improve in the safety room. mcneil-warren might have been a reach, but at least you would have addressed something. You need to sack a quarterback next season. You just had 20 over the course of the entire season. Myles Garrett outperformed the entirety of your offensive line all by himself. Instead, they got a young man who will probably not see a target in the first 10 weeks of his career. He will probably not hit the football field in what week will Dejon Stribbling make his first catch? Now, if you're telling me that this guy is going to be the single greatest kick returner, punt returner in NFL history, okay. Now we can talk more about how it was a value and he did affect the upcoming season, but outside of him being a Pro Bowler on special teams, I don't know, man. I don't know. Quest for 6 for another decade at least. Jon Snow 2555. Again, I'm stunned. Stunned by the pick. Do you think anyone, how about this? Let's go ahead and just look right here, right now. Let's look once again at who's been drafted in the second round. Find me the second wide receiver. Oh, the second wide receiver just came on the board. Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. There have been 3 wide receivers taken. Dejon Stribbling from Ole Miss by the Niners. Then we saw Denzel Boston from Washington, right? Denzel Boston off the board. And we just saw Jeremy Bernard from Alabama. So 3 wide receivers so far in this round. And there is no way that Dejon Stribbling, had he not been selected by now. I just believe that in my heart of hearts. And you're not going to ever convince me otherwise. Again, you wanted a wide receiver. Why not just take Omar Cooper Jr. yesterday? Every pick between 27 and 33 has to be worse than Stribbling's. Absolute rubbish. I am pissed. Who the fuck is this Dejon Stribbling? This person's already changed their handle. I'm shocked. Absolutely shocked. We got more supers. Again, the absolute rubbish. We just saw it. Thank you so much. Move Lynch to the football PR department and go hire some actual experts at evaluating talent, 49ers. Jed must be a glutton for punishment. It's a shocker. It's an absolute shocker. You know, I mean, anyone who's trying to excuse this saying, like, yeah, it was a good pick, then basically what you're saying is every single video, every single bit of work that you've done ahead of this draft is completely worthless. This is not a good pick. He might be a good player, but it's not a good pick today. Now, the pick you are on the day of the draft obviously doesn't matter nearly as much as the player as you become. I'll give you that. But without that saving grace, this just feels so forced. So forced. I'm stunned. Shocked. We're grainy again. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm so sorry for the grainy footage today. By the way, I have poured so much liquor, so much whiskey into this that I've completely nuked my ice cube. It's all right. I'll go neat with a cherry in it. Again, they trading Dee Winters to pick up another pick in the 5th round is sexier to me than the player that they started the second round with drafting. The Schminzelstein coming in with $1. Thank you very, very much for your generous super. I appreciate it. The Falcons pick is in. We're getting closer to the 50s here right now. Closer to the Niners pick. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 picks away. The Niners are 11 picks away. Over 1,000 people watching. Thank you so much for being one of those 1,000 people, no matter where you're watching me, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be over on Twitch. Thank you so much for being here right now today. I really appreciate it. Let's do our prize pick. Let me show you who I actually drafted for prize picks here. Let me show you what I got cooked up for prize picks. I think this is a better way to go about your evening than what the 49ers just did. I've got less than a first inning run being scored between Talion and Sheehan tonight as the Cubs and Dodgers are going at it. So a scoreless first between the Cubs and the Dodgers, and I've got Rafael Devers and Willy Adames each getting a hit tonight. The Giants need to wake up that offense a little bit. They're at home once again, obviously, taking on Miami, but that's not a great Miami team. So Devers, Adames, pick up a hit tonight. I need a scoreless first for Cubs and Dodgers, and all I did was pick more or less over on Prize Picks. I want you to download Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick application and daily fantasy platform. You can even go to Team Picks. You can select winners, spreads, totals for any major game, whether you're in California, Texas, or Florida. It applies. Check it out. Prize Picks is ready for you. And right now, new users, you play $5 and you get 50 in lineups when you go ahead and play, again, by using code HMA. Go to Prize Picks and use code HMA. You make a $5 play and you get 50 instantly. Thank you so much to Prize Picks. If I am you, eat your feelings. Go to Ike's and eat your feelings. Order a Damon Bruce. The only thing that's wrong with that is 957. They don't deserve the advertising. They really don't anymore. But a steak sauce, beer battered onion rings, provolone. Don't get me on Dutch Crunch. Get me on a nice soft roll. Add onions, extra Godfather sauce, and you will be rocking it over at Ike's. Thanks so much to my man Ike. Where's our Jamar Chase, our Puka? We just get bums. Hey, he might be better. That's the thing. I don't want to call this young man a bum. Dejon Stribbling might be an outstanding football player. I just think he's an outstanding football player that could have been signed as an undrafted free agent, if not a day 3 pick. I think the Niners could have used the 5th rounder that they picked up today for just drafting Dee Winters. I think that the 49ers could have used one of their 3 remaining 4th round picks to pick up Dejon Stribbling. There's a difference between I'm good at football and I'm good at the NFL draft. I think the 49ers are very good at football. I don't think they're good at the NFL draft. John Snow, 2555. Where is our Jamar Chase? By the way, the Schminzelstein came in with another $1. Thank you very, very much. A 20 spot from Allison Ray. Damon, I love you, but this Scribbles gripe is done. We never liked the Niners' first pick anywhere in the draft order. Can you keep us posted on the other teams too, please? Well, look, you got ESPN, you got an NFL Network to do that. I'm here to talk about what the Niners are doing, and what I think the Niners are doing is, once again, way overreaching for a player that would have been available to them tomorrow, a player that would have been available to them right here in this round at 58. But thank you, Allison, for a very generous super. And thanks to Craig Kitchen, my first super of the 2026 year. It's my favorite show. Craig's, thank you very much. You've been a big part of this, no doubt about it, throughout the years. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Avion Terrell, just going to the Atlanta Falcons. Very good corner. Very good corner. He is the brother, of AJ Terrell. I did not know that. Okay. Now the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock at 49. I was asked earlier, what does Claude think of Dejon Sterling? Here you go. Stribbling. And look, Stribbling has physical attributes that I think you'd want in a wide receiver. Stribbling is big, fast, vertical threat who played 3 schools across 5 college seasons. Again, so he's not young either. Washington State, Oklahoma State, and Ole Miss. His career numbers are impressive. 216 catches, nearly 3,000 receiving yards, 23 touchdowns across 56 games. Okay, he gets in the end zone. I like that. He averaged 17 yards per catch at Oklahoma State, followed it up with 55 catches for 811 yards and 6 touchdowns in Ole Miss during his final season. And Ole Miss had a very good football season this past season. His best trait is the ability to eat up cushion and threaten deep against both man and zone coverage. He ran a 4.36 at the combine at 207 pounds, which is elite speed for his frame. His hands are reliable too. Just one drop all of last season and a career drop rate of just 3.8%. He's also a willing blocker, which means he's perfect for a Shanahan-style offense. The knock on him is that his speed is more build-up than actually explosive. He doesn't have the short area quickness to win underneath or create separation on quick breaking routes. His release package off the line is limited, which could be used against a press-heavy NFL corners. He's more of a straight-line weapon than a nuanced route runner at this stage. The NFL comparison most scouts have on his he's a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 from day one with a real path to starting within a couple of seasons, especially in an offense that values size, contested catches, and vertical ability. So again, if they drafted the guy who 2-3 years from now will be their best wide receiver, we're going to look back on this show and we're going to laugh at me. For the 49ers specifically, he's interesting because San Francisco desperately needs receiver youth. Ayuk is on the way out. Jennings is an expiring contract. Pearsall has been hurt since he got drafted. Stribbling's profile, big frame, deep speed, reliable hands, willing blocker, fits the Shanahan mold well. And I'll give him that. You know, here's the thing. Claude is smart. Claude knows things. AI knows things. Let me ask this. Where was he predicted to be drafted in the world of mock drafts? Now, Claude is going to check every single database in the world and come back with an answer for me here. Where was he predicted to be drafted in most of the mock drafts? This is what's amazing about AI. I can only check one website at a time. AI is about to check every single website on the planet right now to find where he was supposed to be drafted. Most mock drafts had Stribbling pegged as a late second to mid third round pick. NFL.com had him graded at 6.28, which translates to eventual average starter on their scale. They projected him as a second-round pick. Todd McShay and the Ringer slotted him in the round 3 cluster, viewing him as a top 100 prospect, but not quite a day one guy. The consensus big board was even lower for a while. He was originally ranked around number 108 overall before climbing 23 spots in the final pre-draft rankings, likely boosted by his combine performance where he ran a 4.36. So when the 49ers took him at number 33 overall, the very first pick of round 2, that's earlier than most analysts expected. It's not a massive reach, but it's definitely the high end of his projected range. The 49ers clearly had a conviction grade on him that was way above the consensus. I'm going to bring it back up again. The 49ers had a conviction rate on him way above the consensus. They have reached more than any other team in football, and has it done right by them? I don't think so. The interesting wrinkle, given that Lynch talked about using AI to help build the board in the 49ers' history of reaching on guys that they believe in, Stribbling at 33 feels like a classic Lynch-Shanahan move, trusting their evaluation over the crowd. You know, I don't want to deny a front office their evaluation. That's why they're there, to make the big decision. This feels like a decision that could have been made later. Craig's Kitchen, again, my favorite show. Thank you so much, Craig's. I appreciate you. Henry Ruggs will have more yards than Stribbling. All right, that's unfair. Henry Ruggs did things you cannot do. This is torture, Damon. Stop. I think he could have gotten this guy in the 4th or 5th round. The kid is a stud, but the pick was an overreach in the worst way. Butterscotch Johnson, again, I agree. I just don't think the 49ers speak the proper language of the NFL draft. Here come the New York Jets, by the way, at number 50, which means we're 8 picks away from the Niners and what they do with the second pick of the second round. Nowhere to go but up. Nowhere to go but up. All right, let me mix in a pace car right here. Let me get a little water. The New York Jets just selected my man from Indiana, D'Angelo Pons. The Jets took a corner yesterday, too. So the Jets got better in their secondary. D'Angelo Pons is an absolute hustler. D'Angelo Pons might have been a reach at the top of this round, but I think D'Angelo Pons is going to be an incredible NFL player. Incredible. I love him. I mean, he did so much for my alma mater. I want to cry when I think about D'Angelo Pons. Still Skinny too says Mykal Williams stinks too. No, Mykal Williams does not stink. Mykal Williams is fantastic against the run. Mykal Williams is the edge setter that he was promised to be. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and his ability to rush the passer has yet to be seen. You know, they got what they drafted in Mykal Williams, but they also got what they didn't draft, was that a guy who was going to get after the quarterback. Damon, Lynch reaches more than the Statue of Liberty. I think he did here. I really do. Michael McElron, excuse me. Michael. Thank you, Damon, for speaking the truth. This team drives me crazy. Offensive line can't block, and a defensive line can't get no pressure. This is insane. Here's the thing. The offensive line is better than you think they are. They have been. They always have been. This defensive line is worse than it's ever been in this regime. And I'm stunned that they didn't go Cassius Howell. Again, how is he going to play? How is he going to go ahead and crack the lineup? I'm going to bring this up now here too. Hold on. Let's go right to our lads. How's he cracking the lineup? Mike Evans. Oh, there he is. Dejon Stribbling. Our lads all over it. Okay, so he's behind Mike Evans, and maybe being behind Mike Evans is going to make him a very special player quickly. Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Malik Turner, Christian Kirk, Demarcus Robinson, Junior Bergen still in the house. Vikings. Going with Jake Golday, the linebacker out of Cincinnati, who, again, not very talked about, but would have been a better pick, I think, for the 49ers at the top of the fucking second round. I just don't see a rookie cracking this. Or are you just going to go ahead and just give up immediately on Jordan Watkins and Jacob Cowing? Why were they drafted then? Why did you reach on those guys? Read my hat, Damon. My eyes aren't good enough to read your hat. What does your hat say? You're going to have to tell me again. I can't read an avatar. I know you got the Grant Cohn emoji, though. I see that. I recognize that. And if you think about it, Edo JP, he's not wide receiver 1, but he's right up there. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, I think, needs to spend more time in the slot than he does in the backfield this year just to keep the tread on his tire. I can't believe it. Green Bay Packers are about to make their first pick in this draft. Which means the 49ers are 6 picks away. We will stay with you until the Niners make these picks. But then I think I've had it for the night. I really do. We'll do a video about what happens in the 3rd round. But man. And Marty, this is how you talk yourself into guys. This is how, there'll be an awful lot of praise of this pick. The Bay Area media is going to be like, oh, well, here are all the reasons why it might work. And they might be right. There are reasons why it might work. There are. Will he get opportunity? Will he get opportunity to get on the field in year 1 of his career is my question. I don't like this pick for all the same reasons that I didn't like the Jordan Watkins pick. My question was, how is he going to get on the field? Will Kyle run him in patterns? Question mark. Will Kyle throw him the ball? Question mark. What if I told you that Dejon Stribbling does not have a catch until week 10? Would you believe me? Yeah, you would. You would. Either way, Marty says, Damon, I was kind of mad about this pick. And the more research I do on it, the more highlights I watch, this guy could be an absolute beast in our offense. Show it to me. Show it to me. Danny Gray was supposed to be an absolute beast in this offense. Jacob Cowing, supposed to be an absolute beast in this offense. Ricky Pearsall was supposed to be an absolute beast in this offense. Debo was supposed to be an absolute beast in this offense, and then he wasn't. You know who's going to be an absolute beast in this offense? Mike Evans. Mike Evans is going to be an absolute beast in this offense. You know what's going to make getting the ball to Mike Evans better? More protection for Brock Purdy. Chase Basantes would have made every wide receiver on this team better than I think Dejon's dribbling is going to be better in year 1. Scamahan be Scamlin. Stole his daddy's playbook, Jon Snow. Look, I'd steal my daddy's playbook too if my daddy were an offensive genius. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, an evaluator of talent. We can talk. We can talk. Again, I need someone who speaks the language of the draft. And I do think that the Niners are not fluent in draft language. I'm stunned. More than 1,000 people watching, 300 of them on YouTube, Twitch, and X are happening. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit like if you would, please. At least 50 of you have not hit that like button, and you're watching right now. Thank you very much to everyone who's offered up a super. Thank you so much for being a part of this here today. Eat it, Ikes. Check out Prize Picks. And thank you for supporting the sponsors that make this show go. I really appreciate it. I really, truly do. We have an awesome football community that we've built here. Other channels are bigger. I don't think a single channel is cooler. Smart, reasonable people. That's what I'm looking for. Is it too much to ask for smart, reasonable people to watch my channel? Thank you for being one of those people. Hit like, subscribe, and notify. I'm beside myself. I'm slapping myself. Mike. I hear you, Mike. Damon, I definitely concur with you about the play time. It's going to be up to Kyle to trust this guy. So Dejon better be ready to impress. That's the thing. If he comes out of training camp and he is one of the 3 best football players playing wide receiver on this team, it's phenomenal. It's a great pick. If he's out there making plays. But I think this is a draft and stash. Now, let's say you only get 1 year of Mike Evans. You only get 1 year of Christian Kirk, and these guys are both hurt or they're gone or, it doesn't last long. Does he help you? Does he help you in 2026 more of a pass rush would have helped you? Better protection for Brock, better opening up running lanes for Christian McCaffrey? Wouldn't that have helped you more? Wouldn't Chase Basantes have helped you more? And with the 58th overall pick, the 49ers select Joey Raines, Waterboy from Scumbag University. We're not quite there yet, but thank you for the $5 super. To be fair, Debo was a beast. He just got used too much. Yeah, and he didn't take great care of himself either. There's no doubt about that. Butterscotch Johnson. Damon, we going to get a Plus hang soon? And if not at the Dubliner, where? Well, look, the Dubliner, I love them. They're a small business, and they reached the end of their advertising budget with me. I love the guys at the Dubliner. We will do another Plus Mania. I don't know when, but it will happen. I promise you, it's going to come up soon. Oh, Pat McAfee is out here for the Colts pick. Okay. Pat McAfee. Is he a wrestling heel now? Pat McAfee knows how to work a crowd. By the way, let's get caught up on where we are in this draft. Since we got a team making picks right now and on the clock, let's get caught up with where we are. There's another name here, by the way, that I would have liked to have seen attached to the 49ers. And right here, the cornerback from South Carolina, Brandon Cease. I think that could have been an absolute good pick for the 49ers. D'Angelo Pons, my boy from Indiana, could have been a good pick for the 49ers. Another corner, Avion Terrell. But again, corner wasn't an issue that was addressed in the offseason. They signed a couple of corners already, the same way they signed a couple of wide receivers already. All right, 51st pick, going to the Colts. Who they taking? C.J. Allen, the linebacker that you thought might have fallen to the 49ers. C.J. Allen is gone. Ouch. Again, I would have loved Christian Miller. I would have loved Jacob Rodriguez. I would have loved Zion Young. I would have loved Josiah Trotter. Jeremy Bernard, I would have liked, I think, a little bit more. C.J. Allen, gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks away from what the Niners do at 58. Wow. Again, we already got that. Thank you, Jason. Thank you to everyone who's offered up a super. C.J. Allen, again, he was the leading tackler in the SEC. So the 49ers, who had trouble tackling last year, passed on the reigning defensive player from the SEC. They passed on the leading tackler from the SEC. They have, look at it this way. If Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is the pick here, I will like that an awful lot. If Emmanuel McNeil-Warren had been the pick at the top of the second round, I would have liked that. I'm still flabbergasted. Watching the Niners on draft day is hilarious. Amin Morris. They continue to reach. I am become death destroyer of words. Picking like this is how Grant got so popular. You might be right. You might be right. Grant's got to be having a field day with this. Join the ranks, Damon. Hey, here's the thing. I'll admit in real time, I might be wrong. There's a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, I hate the pick, and I'm definitely right about it. I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely might be wrong about it, and I hope I'm wrong about it. I hope the Niners are laughing at me, laughing at this video. I hope we're all giggling at this video. I'm going to tell you right now, he better be better than Chase Basantes. He better be better than Caden McDonald. He certainly better be better than Denzel Washington, who was the next wide receiver taken. And then after that, Jeremy Bernard. He better be better than both of those guys when his time is over and done with. Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt off the board. We are now 4 picks away from the San Francisco 49ers, but the Eagles get their future tight end here in the second round. This was our Mackey Award winner. This was a guy who was an incredible tight end last year. One of the reasons why Vanderbilt was so good. Matty Pup, 10:05. John Lynch uses Smarter Child as his AI consultant. I don't even know what Smarter Child is. But thank you for the super. I can only assume that was not meant to be a compliment. I want to talk about best available as the 49ers are up here. Again, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo, is still there. The wide receiver, Zachary Branch, who obviously they're not coming back with another wide receiver. I would have liked to have seen Zachary Branch. You want to talk about some guy who's built to go and play well in the 49ers offense? Emmanuel Pregnon, the offensive guard from Oregon, is there. A.J. Halsey, the safety from LSU, is there. What are the Niners going to do? Again, I would have preferred Elijah Surratt from Indiana. But that's my Indiana bias coming through. Yeah, 152 for Dee Winters. That's the other thing that has happened. The 49ers have traded Dee Winters. And I like Dee Winters. Dee Winters was a pretty good football player, man. I think he's a young player who would have gotten better with more time. But Dee Winters traded for 152. I think you honestly could have probably drafted Dejon Stribbling at 152. Now we're just getting mean. Ben Diesel, Lynch uses Ask Jeeves for his draft consulting. No, they're doing better than Ask Jeeves. By the way, I did a really interesting interview with Ashley Vance, who is one of the great tech reporters of our time, about the future of sports and AI. That video is out there and up there, and if you could watch it, I'd really appreciate it. Check it out. I think you'll find it very, very interesting. Hopefully Nick Martin develops. I'll tell you, still stinky too. I agree with you. And I think Nick Martin is going to develop. He needs to slow down. It's a lot easier to slow a guy down than it is to speed a guy up. By the way, over 50 supers now. 50 supers. Thank you so much to all of you. Really, really appreciate it. That's how we're feeding the family these days. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that I would have to use the words like and subscribe in my broadcasting vocabulary? But this is the world we're living in now. And I thank you so much for being here today again. Eat it, Ikes. Check out Prize Picks. You can get a link to both in the description of this very live stream that you're watching right now. We're getting closer and closer. Closer and closer. Stribbling would have been there at 258, Damon. I don't know about 258. Could have been undrafted. Damon, are you worried that every single year the Niners are getting jumped in front of and the guy they wanted gets taken? Well, I think it happened in the first round this year. I do. I think that that's what happened. I think that the 49ers were very, very interested in drafting Keelan Rutledge. And when the Texans hopped up That's when they traded out of the first round entirely. That's why I thought Basantes made an awful lot of sense with the first pick. Again, they could have traded back, picked up another pick, gotten Chase Basantes, and still gotten the wide receiver that they picked. I really believe that. I won't be able to prove it to you. I won't be able to point to a bar graph and say, look, I was right on this. But I really do think that the player that they drafted would have been a player that anybody could have drafted on day 3 of this draft. Thanks for the show, Damon. Frank, thank you for watching. You could be a lot of places. You're hanging out with us. 49ers select Irwin Batches, safety, West Bumblefuck, Kentucky University, flea market mixtape. I think they can do better than that. I think they can do a little bit better than that. All right, we got the Patriots here on the clock. Don't tell Diana Rossini about that. Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. Patriots, again, they've traded into this spot here. And the Niners are 3 picks away. It's Patriots, Jacksonville, Chicago, and then San Francisco coming up with the 26th pick in the second round, number 58 overall. Patriots, the pick is in. What do you got here, Roger Goodell? It would have been amazing if the Patriots sent out Diana Rossini to announce this. Gabe Jacobs, the edge from Illinois. Good player. Good player, no doubt about it. When Indiana absolutely stripped Illinois of its dignity earlier in this college football season, he didn't do shit, though. So, I don't care. No, the crowd is breaking out Rossini chants whenever New England is on the clock. Are they really in Pittsburgh? Busting out Rossini chants. Wow. It's going to be a while before we hear from her again, Monty 510. By the way, one of the trades that we talked about for the 49ers has just been made by the Eagles. The Vikings have traded linebacker Jonathan Greenard to the Eagles for 98 and a 2027 third-round pick. I thought Jonathan Greenard might have been a guy that they might have been interested in pursuing and trading for after they saved money on not spending a first-round draft pick this year. Greenard gone. Who the fuck is Dejon Stribbling? Thank you very much. Niners pick Jamie is going to be available after day 3 is over. You don't have to reach for Jamie. Dang, Damon, you put some hot sauce on that one there, brother. I don't even know which one you're talking about at this point. The Rossini chant. All right, Jaguars pick is in. Who'd the Jaguars send up there? Look at this chiseled chin. Who is that? Oh, it's Paul Posluszny, 2013 Pro Bowler. Nate Borkircher, the tight end from A&M. All right, well, the Niners weren't picking him, so that's no problem at all. That's a good pick. Good pick for the Jaguars. Niners weren't taking him. No problem there at all. Now it's just the Chicago Bears standing in between the 49ers and their time on the clock. Mike Honey, 2116 says, Damon, I'm stuck on Highway 4 because some people can't drive. He says, fuckers. Some fuckers can't drive and got in an accident. At least I have you to watch and listen to as opposed to a guy named Booger. Well, thank you, Mike. You know, there used to be a time and a place where I was on in your car every day in the afternoon. I'm glad you still figured out a way to pipe me in. Thank you so very, very much. Damon, a little more whiskey before the next pick? Sure. Again, we're having two monster cocktails here. Two picks, two big cocktails. We're not screwing around. It's a Friday. I'm home. I'm not driving anywhere. Cocktails and draft picks, baby. Cocktails and draft picks. Ben Diesel, the Cowgirls got Winters, and we play them this season. That's interesting. Nick Martin, your time is now. Make us proud. Go Niners. Ben Diesel, I will say this. Yeah, Nick Martin, you just got a huge, huge obstacle in your playing time removed right in front of you. Do something with it. Do something with it. JP from the 510, Pregnon about to get snatched up right before the 49ers get a chance. Look, of all the guards that I looked at, Pregnon was among my least favorite options. But if they did take a guard, it would address a need. And I think that when you got a need that is so much of a need, you're talking about like week one starter, go ahead, make it Pregnon. Pregnon or give me mcneil-warren. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Every other player that I thought would be there at 33 that the Niners might be interested in has been drafted after they reached for their wide receiver. And I'll give you this. I'll take Nick Martin over Winters. I think Nick Martin's on a developmental track where he's going to be a good football player. Yeah, Dunker. Absolutely. Make it Dunker out of Iowa. Although I think I'd rather have Pregnon over Dunker, to be totally honest with you. You could get Dunker tomorrow. So Greenard was there, and there was talk about this. Again, we already have a kid on our team that we can't put him back. But wow, how he continues to do damage in this draft and in free agency. We got a rookie as a general manager compared to Howie Roseman. Yeah, he laps John Lynch. Absolutely laps John Lynch. Again, you can sit around and start talking yourself into this 49ers pick. You can talk yourself into what they did. But Dejon Stribbling isn't. I wasn't looking for a pick that I had to talk myself into when the Niners controlled the board at the start of day 2 in the NFL draft. The Chicago Bears pick is in, which means the 49ers are on the clock right here, right now. Hey, let it be Dunker. Here's the thing. Let it be something that they need. Let it be someone who's got a shot to play in week 1. I don't think Dejon Stribbling is going to get a target or make a catch in week 1 in Australia against the LA Rams. Again, if Ty Simpson was a reach, what is this? Here's my final cherry of the live stream. It's a good one. By the way, with nearly 400 watching right now on Twitter, we're almost at 300 likes. If you have not tapped that like button, thank you so much. Please do. If you have not hit subscribe and notify, please do. The person who's about to get picked here gets a very fancy Heinz 57 red jacket. That's a good corporate tie-in. It really is. Make that pick at 57 a lifetime catch-up recipient. It's so funny that the Bears Chicago is the most mustard forward city in America, and it's going to be a Chicago Bear who gets burdened with representing ketchup. Hysterical. Is there anyone giving you draft coverage quite like that? I don't think so. Are they sending Jumbo out there? It is. Jim Covert, one of the best offensive tackles in the history of football. Jimbo. Look, I might cover the 49ers, but I grew up loving the Chicago Bears. What are the Bears about to do with this pick? What are the Bears about to do with this pick? Just nice to see Jimbo covered. Look at that. That is that button on his jacket is working overtime. Logan Jones, the center from Iowa. Again, Jake Brendel apparently is on scholarship when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners weren't going to draft Logan Jones. They weren't. They have convinced themselves that Brendel is the future, the present. And, you know, I can't necessarily explain it. I like Jake Slaughter even more, by the way. Jake Slaughter is a name that I'd like to see on day 3. Larry or Grant better not puss out when they question these clowns. Marty Hale says, Damon, I live in the Cincinnati area, but if I ever make it to your neck of the woods, we got to grab an adult beverage, good sir. Marty, let me know when you're coming on out. I'm up for a cocktail. Again, I love getting together with the audience. I really do. That's why we do Plus Manias. It's why I'm privileged. I'm privileged to have a level of awesome people in my audience that I love hanging out with you. I really do. I'm privileged to have you. San Francisco has traded back. They traded the pick to Cleveland. The Browns are now on the clock. Now the 49ers are trading back? Okay. What's the details on this? Now you're trading back? The 49ers traded out of the second round. The 49ers will be picking now at 70, the 6th pick of the third round. So the Niners now have 2 third-round draft picks. And the Browns take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety that I think the 49ers should have picked. Are you kidding me? Okay. I don't know what to tell you, Niners fans. There's what we think we know about the draft, and there's what the 49ers feel that they know about the draft, and those are 2 totally unrelated different things. Let me take my glasses off. Oh, my God. Okay. Instead of drafting Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, instead of taking the first team all-MAC safety that can kind of do it all, it's like they're making it harder on themselves. So let's see. Now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus, what do we got here? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 picks away from what the Niners are going to do. Yeah, we'll hang out through then, and then I'm going to call it a day. I honestly cannot believe what is unfolding. I can't. I cannot believe what is unfolding based on need, based on urgency, based on the fact you just got your ass kicked in your division by the Seahawks and the Rams. I thought that yesterday they played the board right. I thought that yesterday moving back was smart. What else did they pick up from Cleveland in this draft back? Make it make sense here, Nick Wagner. What do we got here? All right, I'm going to share this. By the way, at 59, the Houston Texans select Marlon Klein, the tight end from Michigan. I like him. I think he goes a little high here, though. Marlon Klein. That's a little bit of a reach, I think. We go with Nick Wagner. Niners trade again. The Niners pick up a fourth rounder, another fourth rounder, and the third rounder. The Browns receive 58 and 152, the fifth rounder from Dallas. So the fifth rounder that the Niners picked up is now gone. You know, it's not like they're accumulating all these picks. Ben Diesel coming in with the 5 spot saying the Cowgirls got Winters and we played them this season. Interesting. We already did that. Thank you very much, Ben. We go here to Blindside Brian. I think Kyle and Lynch have a Calci future bet on alcohol consumption of 49ers fans during this draft. This is Desi Reyes 341. John Lynch needs to donate his brain to CTE research. Let's not be that's not funny. I do think that John Lynch, though, has proven time and time again that when it comes to drafting, he's not great at it. I'm done with the Lynch GM thing. I'm done with the ownership group. I'll still be a Niner diehard, like I said, 49 years now, but this is absolutely sickening. John Wallace, thank you, John, for the super. I'm stunned. I'm stunned with how this draft has gone. I really am. You know, you can't say that they've gotten it all wrong, but I don't think they've gotten it right either. I really don't. Now, only time will tell. Only time will tell as we start drifting here into the end of this round. Again, thank you for the super, but we don't joke about brain injuries. This is football. This is a brutal sport out here. Thomas Selman, never paying attention to the Niners draft again. It's just stupid. I'm pretty surprised, to say the least. Pretty surprised, to say the least. Again, thank you very much for being here today. We've got over 500 people watching on YouTube, over 1,300 now across all platforms. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. Eat it, Ikes. Check out Prize Picks. Holy shit, though. I mean, I'm blown away here. Embarrassing, generic Niners. We got Never Daunted Radio Network saying spend $50 million on Trent and you draft nothing to replace him. Sounds decent. I'm done with this madness. Dante Polk. I mean, here's the thing. We're all going to be there week 1. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Niners are going to have a good year next year. They always do. They're good. They're a well-coached football team on Sundays. But are they doing right by themselves in the offseason? I don't know. I don't know. You know, could have traded for Jonathan Greenard. Didn't. Could have just gone with Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Didn't. Could have probably had the wide receiver that you picked at the top of this round with the pick that they just traded for that's coming up in the next round. But didn't. It's a stunner. It really is. Is Emmanuel Pregnon going to be there? Jennings Dunker going to be there next round? AJ Halsey? I'd be happy with those names. Mike Washington Jr., the running back from Arkansas. Does he come into play here now? Titans are up at 60. Wow, look at that futuristic suit. Who is wearing that suit? Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas, off the board to the Titans. Loading up on defense, Robert Saleh. He knows his linebackers. He really does. Cannot question who Robert Saleh wants at linebacker. Second team All-American. Okay. Bay Area, 415-510. I am sad. Look, I don't think there's anything to be sad about, but I'm bewildered. I'm bewildered right now. I really am. I'm bewildered. 10 more picks away, Candlestick 49er. Yeah. We waited for this, Joe Schmo. Yeah, we did. We waited. We waited for this. All right. Wouldn't it have been better to just start this round with Chase Basantes? God. What is he going to be for the Arizona Cardinals? You've been playing against the player that I really thought that the Niners needed was drafted by a division rival. Monty 510, I'm hitting the blunt, Damon. Fuck this. Yeah, I mean, twist it up if you got it. Go right ahead. I'm not going to mind if you do. I'm really not. All right, what are the Rams doing here? Rams, they bring out Tavon Austin. Max Clare, the tight end from Ohio State. There you go. The Rams finally pick a player that they're going to be playing this upcoming season. I bet you we're going to see a much happier Sean McVay talking about Max Clare than he was about Ty Simpson. This is a first team all Big Ten tight end. He's good. Blindside Brian. Damon, is it too much to just have a normal draft? Seriously. Couldn't they have just had a normal draft? Anthony Novello, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. All right, so while we're crapping all over the pick, let me just say once again here, just to make sure that equilibrium is struck every once in a while here on this channel. Dejon Stribbling might be outstanding. Dejon Stribbling could be the future of the 49ers offense. Nothing proves whether or not you can play in this league, and if their instincts finally lead them to the right player here early in this draft, that'll be great, but their instincts have betrayed them more often than not. We have shown this several times on the show. One more time. There is no team since 2000 that has reached more in the first 3 rounds than the 49ers, and of all of their reaches, this might be among the biggest reach that they have made. So good luck with that. Good luck with an extreme reach, because this feels like an extreme reach. Again, I don't think we're going to see him with a target until week 5 or 6, with a catch until week maybe 8 or 10. How is he getting on the field without injury in front of him? I don't know. He shows up to training camp. He's quick as lightning. He's all that in a bag of chips. He is one of the best, pairs of hands on the football team. All will be forgiven. All will be forgiven. The minute he's standing in the end zone with the football, everyone's going to go, great pick. How long will it be before a football is even thrown to him? That is when will he get his first target? Stribbling. Not stripping. Stribbling with a B. And look, Tom Lynch will say there were teams ready to draft Stribbling. Nonsense. I agree with you. I agree with the consensus big board that he is not drafted in this round yet. Again, how many wide receivers were drafted in this round? 1, 2, 3. That's it. There have been more tight ends drafted in this round than there have been wide receivers, which makes me really believe that this wide receiver would have been there in the 5th round, in the 4th round. Damon, don't let him be a diva. Vegan Yoshi better have one of the single greatest bits of work ethic we've ever seen. I didn't even see the 49ers bring him in on a 30 visit, though. How much do they actually know the guy? This is Blindside Brian again with a nice super. Thank you, Blindside Brian. Do you think that Kyle and Lynch saw a wide receiver that might be able to block in the NFL and just couldn't pass? I hope the kid succeeds. I'm going to be rooting for him. Yeah, look, when you're drafting a wide receiver, downfield blocker is very important in this offense, but it can't be the primary reason why you are. Look at it this way. If downfield blocking wide receiver meant that much to you, Jawan Jennings should be back. You should have made kumbaya with Brandon Ayuk, because both of those guys are ready to be better downfield blockers in week 1 this upcoming season than our boy Dejon Stribbling is going to be. How about we draft an offensive lineman, the Shaw? Good to see you, Shaw. Here's the deal. Yes, go ahead and do that. Stribbling says he's never met Lynch or Shanahan. Well, that's a real reach then. I mean, that's a real reach. You tell me one of the reasons why you absolutely fell in love with the kid is because you thought he was just the best person you ever met. Okay. You met him. I haven't. Are you telling me that they just drafted a player they've never even talked to? D. Caneda, just putting $1.99 in the ganja jar. Thank you very much. Buffalo Bills just selected Davidson Igbinosun. Excuse me, the cornerback out of Ohio State. It's all right, Niners weren't going to draft him anyways. Anyone notice we haven't seen Stribbling on video? Well, yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They did not send a camera crew to his house. The Stribbling was probably as surprised as we were. He's in Hawaii just chilling. Well, good for him. Can't hate on anybody in Hawaii. Now, let's look at it this way. James Foster says, Evans, Pearsall, Stribbling, Kirk, D. Robinson. That's a solid wide receiver group. What happened to Jordan Watkins? What happened to Jacob Cowing? What happened to all the balls that you're going to be throwing to both Jake Tongas and Christian McCaffrey? I don't know, man. I don't know. Stribbling knew that he was a day 3 pick. I agree. Blindside Brian, Damon, agreed, Damon. Kyle gets caught up in the grass is greener on the other side way too much. No way the Giants wake up and make us feel better tonight. Well, what I need from the Giants tonight is a hit from Rafael Devers and a hit from Willie Adames. I got my prize pick lineup locked in. I'll show it to you one more time. Again, thank you to Ikes. Thank you to Prize Picks. You get $5. You play $5, you get 50 instantly. Use code HMA when you sign up for Prize Picks. And here's my lineup tonight. I got the Talion Sheehan first inning at Dodger Stadium being a scoreless inning, and I got Devers and Willie Adames each with a hit tonight. $5 to make $18.75. Again, do not risk more than you can afford to lose. Just a little bit of eensy-leensy bets sprinkled around the world. Makes sports a little bit more fun. It really does. Check out the description in the video of this very live stream that you're watching right now. Just check out the description, click on that link, use code HMA. HMA. All right, we got two more picks here. Two more picks to close out this round. We got the Chargers and the Seattle Seahawks. And here are the Chargers. The pick is in. We got Sean Merriman out here. All right. Jake Slaughter, the center from Florida, just taken by the Chargers. I thought Jake Slaughter made more sense for the San Francisco 49ers. Jake Slaughter is one of the smartest guys in this draft. Jake Slaughter is a genius. Jake Slaughter is a really good run blocker and pass defender. He's just dominated in the SEC. Big arms, smart guy. I would have loved to seen that name attached to the 49ers. It will not happen. You know, what does Jim Harbaugh know? JCNY 49ers. Seattle going to maul us again. Shaking my head. Basantes goes the next pick. I'm physically ill. This regime is starting to lose the base. Need a D end, a left guard, and we draft our wide receiver 4 or 5. Yeah, again. You're drafting your 4th or 5th wide receiver before you address edge, D tackle once again, which I felt probably would have been a little bit of a reach, but I mean, I can't believe they drafted a wide receiver who was probably not going to hit the field when they could have drafted him tomorrow. I mean, again, the player that they get and the value that they addressed are two totally different things. But thank you so much for the super here, JCNY 49er. All right, so we are about to close out the second round. Seattle, the only team remaining to make a pick here. They will pick at 32. And then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to show you that the 49ers here in the third round are picking at 70. 70 overall. They traded back here. So we will see how that goes. Seattle, the pick is in. Okay. Tap that like button, hit subscribe, hit notify, and make sure you're hanging out all off season long with us here on the Plus. I really appreciate you being here. Be good to our sponsors. You've been great to me. Thank you so very much for helping me grow this to now over 50,000 subscribers here. Really very proud of the way that this channel is growing, and it wouldn't be happening without all of you. Thank you so very much for being a part of this, for being someone who's got my back. I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this. a member of the Shaw. Give my best to the Duchess. Yeah, mom's doing well. Thank you so much. Damon, how do you feel about the Dee Winters trade? Well, first thing I think of, Raphael, is that they've already traded away the pick that they got from Dallas for trading him. They've already traded it away. I think it opens up opportunity for Nick Martin. And I got no problem with that. Gizmo Maltese, the Niners are outsmarting themselves again. You might be right. You might be right. You know, there's something about the big board that they clearly ignore every year. And if their instincts led them to more first round success, more early round success, I wouldn't question it the way that I'm questioning this. But it's a little nuts to me that you would go ahead and you draft your fourth or fifth wide receiver in your wide receiver room, then you would get an edge for the worst sacking team in all of football, or a guard when you need a guard, or a safety when you needed another safety. I'm surprised by it. I really, really am. All right, Seahawks here closing out the second round, pardon me. What are the Seahawks going to do? The other safety that I wanted just went to Seattle, Bud Clark. Bud Clark was one of my draft crushes. You can go back and look at all the wake-ups that I've done with Kruger. I've been on Bud Clark for weeks now. I would have loved to have seen Bud Clark at the top of this draft, much less the last pick in this round. Bud Clark is a ball hawker. Bud Clark had a great Senior Bowl. Bud Clark is a coverage safety that matters. Seattle picks thank you cards for the 49ers. Man. Bud Clark gone. I would have loved to seen Bud Clark at 70. All right. We officially begin now. The third round, pick 65, the Cardinals. It is in. Let's speed this up, NFL. Let's speed this up. Good God. I'm stunned by the way this has played out. I really am. I am absolutely stunned. Absolutely stunned the way that this has played out. By the way, we're at 51,130 subs. If you're watching right now and you're not subbed, please do. Please hit that sub button. Please go ahead and hit that notify button. And that way, whenever we go live, you will know all about it. But I can't believe that the 49ers have just let this draft unfold the way that it has. Ben Diesel said, draft Jennings dunker, skilled tackle, majestic mullet, swag, Jennings slam dunker, everyone. Yeah, let's see if dunker's on the board here. Niners outsmarting themselves again. Gizmo Maltese. Seattle picks thank you cards for the Niners. Thank you again, M. Belanus. We got Josh saying this pick broke me, Damon. It's Pettis 2.0. I hope he'll be a lot better than Dante Pettis. He better be. He better be. All right, now we're honoring the American military branches. Cheers to all who have served. Thank you so much. America, 250 years. Beautiful, beautiful. Drop the Lee Greenwood bullshit. See how full that was? This is our second cock. This was up here. This was up here with no ice. I got to tell you, I'm feeling a little frosty. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good. I don't know if you're feeling good, but happy hour is upon us here on a Friday afternoon, and we're waiting to see what the 49ers do after taking Dejon Stribbling, the wide receiver from Ole Miss, who in many ways fits what the 49ers want, but will he even play? Will he even play? It's not out of the question, and in terms of draft value, this feels like a massive overreach. And the pick broke me. Joshua Pettis 2.0. Let's not put that on him, not yet. He is blacked from Buzz. Who, me? No, we're not quite blacking out here. Stop it. We can hold liquor on this channel. I don't know if any other Niner content creator could outdrink me and out-broadcast me at the same time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, none of them are built like me. None of them. Stribbling picked 33. Debo was picked number 36. James Foster. Thank you. I don't know what one has to do with the other. Debo was a hell of a football player for the San Francisco 49ers. Debo, for a minute there, was incredibly special. Cardinals pick is in. Let's get this third round underway. What do we got here, Arizona? Let's go. Pregnon or Dunker, or any of the best available players going to get picked before we get there. I believe at this point we've traded back ourselves. We're right out of the draft. No, the draft is deep. The draft is deep, but what is Arizona doing here? Again, what are they going to prevent the 49ers from doing? Carson Beck, quarterback Miami. Arizona gets its quarterback, Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck is a dog. And I don't mean that in a good way. I don't mean Carson Beck, good football player. Carson Beck was good enough to get Miami into the national championship game, and he threw the interception that I knew he was going to throw in that game against my Hoosiers, and that closed out Miami of winning that game. Carson Beck. He played some high-profile football. There's no doubt. If you're looking for a guy with pedigree, Carson Beck has it. He started at Georgia. He started at Miami. He got Miami into the national championship game. But I was not impressed with what Carson Beck was or did in college. I think Carson Beck always sought the best situation. His situation will not be the best situation with Arizona. But Arizona looking for quarterback, I got no problem. What's the over-under on another trade back here? Well, blindside Brian, I think they've officially gotten too cute. Too cute. So they better not do it again. Better not do it again. Dante Polk said, we just sat here and watched every team in the league get better, but us. Again, if Dejon Stribbling is outstanding, this whole thing makes me look like a turkey. Butterscotch Johnson, Damon is by far one of the best, most entertaining, down-to-earth personalities in the Bay Area. We are blessed to have him. Oh, I mean, come on. Now you're going to make me cry. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm blessed to have you as an audience. I love this incredibly smart football audience that keeps on coming back to hang out with me. I don't know what I did to deserve you, but I'm glad that you're here. Thank you. The Broncos, their pick is in. Carson Beck. Okay, well, there's a player that the Niners were not going to be interested in. Not worried about Carson Beck coming off the board. You can have him, Arizona. And Carson Beck is not going to haunt the 49ers in the future. I don't think Ty Simpson is either. I like how two quarterbacks drafted into the division are two quarterbacks that the 49ers absolutely, my Hoosiers mollywopped in the playoffs. TJ Ward for the Denver Broncos making the pick here. With the 66th pick, the Broncos have fewer picks than I think any other team in this draft. Defensive tackle, Tyler Odium. I don't think that the 49ers were interested there either, so not a problem at all. Go ahead. We're now 4 picks away from what the Niners are going to do. 4 picks away. John Wallace saying, love you, brother. You and the family are awesome. I'm lucky. I got 2 great boys. I really do. Thank you, John. Damon, by the way, I don't like Krug talking about David if you can't talk about Grant. I'm not trying to talk about anybody. I'm not trying to pick fights with other content creators. Your time is way too precious to waste nonsense like that. I still can't believe the pick. And then the trade back, which prevents you from Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Okay. You know, if Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is a stud football player, why didn't you take him? There will be questions. There will be questions. Dante Polk, Damon's a beast. Don't underestimate him. All I'm going to tell you right now is that all these radio stations here in the Bay Area thought a guy like me would be gone by now. What I am is getting bigger than these actual radio stations here in the Bay Area. And I thank you for doing that. Again, like and subscribe. Kieran Crawford, the edge from Auburn. Again, not a player that I really thought fit the Niners. Not a Crawford guy from Auburn. You go ahead, enjoy him. Raiders. Here's something we haven't considered. Blindside Brian. What if all this is just a bad dream? Look, let it be a bad dream. What I don't need is bad draft picks. What I don't need are draft picks that spit in the eye of draft value. And that's why I am down on Dejon Stribbling. There's no reason to not like the player. He might be great, but he's a player that I think that you could have had at any point in time in the draft tomorrow. Like, I don't think he would have gone off the board in this round. I don't. Damon is the Matrix. Niners drafting. I don't even know what that means. Damon is the Matrix, but I thank you, John. Blindside coming in again. Are there more edge rushers available? Well, here's one right here. Romelo Height is my educated guess. I would like Romelo Height. I think Romelo Height, again, will be there tomorrow, though. But I do like Romelo Height. I do. He's a player that I had the Niners taking with their first pick of the 4th round when Larry and I were doing this about a week ago in a mock draft. Again, over 77 super chats have come in this program today, coming in this live stream. Thank you very, very much. 3 picks away from the Niners. They better not be drafting back again. We've got the Eagles, the Bears, and the 49ers, the next 3 picks in this draft. JP0303, Damon. He ran a 4.36. Why are you so positive he would have been a 4th rounder? That'd have been a hell of a steal in the 4th round. Yeah. Here's the thing. I would have loved to have billed him as a hell of a steal in the 4th round, then a massive reach at the top of the 2nd when you need a starting left guard, when you had 20 sacks last year, when you were also thinking a better safety is something that this team needs. Another linebacker is something that this team needs. JP, he might be great. He might be the perfect 49er wide receiver. What is he going to do in 2026? How does he help this upcoming season? Is he even on the field? I think these are legitimate questions to be asking. And just in terms of draft value, do the Niners really understand it? JC NY Niner said again, we all saw the Seattle games. We need a left guard. Malpractice. Malpractice. Again, if it's Emmanuel Pregnon, I'll feel good. I'll feel better here. Jennings Dunker, I'll feel better here. Again, I'm all done. I'm all done talking about what might happen. What any of us think in the what might happen category gets a shaving cream pie thrown in its face every single year, almost by this team when it comes to the NFL draft. Again, Ricky Pearsall was a name that felt like it came out of nowhere just a year ago with all the needs that it felt like the Niners had then. Eagles. Here's the selection. By the way, how is there no Chiron underneath these players who are coming up to make these picks? Who is this guy? Markel Bell, the offensive tackle from Miami, just selected by the Eagles. Niners weren't interested in him. I wasn't interested in him. You go ahead. Enjoy your Markel Bell, offensive tackle from Miami. Good player. Good player, but the Niners were not interested. They weren't going to kick him in to play guard. He doesn't have the speed, the foot speed to really do that. Good player, though. Big arms, big player. Markel Bell off the board. Chicago, what you got? Who's copying New Jeans? Just says, Damon, relax. Hey, that's also good advice, too. That is also good advice, too. Relax. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the next couple of picks of this draft just relaxing. Let me lean back. Let me relax. Chicago Bears pick is in. Nice relaxing pick here by the Chicago Bears. All right. What will the Bears do? Roger Goodell walking on out with a guy in a T-shirt and a kid with a big chain. Inspire change. We're going to get some inspirational moment here before the Bears pick. Niners are on the clock right now at pick 70. Go ahead, get the draft board back up. Here we go. We'll let you know what the Bears do here in just a minute. Again, Arizona's got its quarterback of the future in Carson Beck now. How about that? Bears are picking Sam Roush, the tight end from Stanford. Again, I thought that Roush probably had a third or fourth round grade. Bears coming up for Sam Roush, the tight end from Stanford. Okay. A player that I do not think the 49ers were considering here. So it's not like the Bears just jumped them in an idea. Let's see what the Niners do at 70. Again, blindside Brian, are there more edge rushers available? Yeah, absolutely there are. You know, if the Niners are looking edge in this draft, they could still look at a guy like Jashawn Barham from Michigan. Romelo Height from Texas Tech is a guy that we've talked about. Logan Fano from Utah is another guy, although that's probably a reach. But reaching is what it feels like the Niners almost do best. We got the malpractice. We've already gotten that. Thank you so much. Again, I'd like to inspire some change in the 49ers. Blindside Brian, thank you for being an inspiration. One of these fourths better be for Thibodeau. Hey, man, trading for Kayvon Thibodeau, I basically heard John Harbaugh shut that down. I don't think the Giants are trading Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't think that's happening. '70th pick, Niners pick is in. With the 70th pick, the 49ers pick Billy Bob and his pet pit Bacon from Varsity Blues, West Cannon High School. No, D. Perez, that's not happening. Romelo Height is the pick. Romelo Height, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, and I do like him. I had him drafted by the Niners. I had him drafted when I was talking about what the Niners might do in the fourth round compensatory, but here in the third round, I'll take it. This is a guy who pressures quarterbacks. He played well in the Big 12. He was part of that really good Texas Tech team. I have no problems with Romelo Height going right here. Again, he was a late bloomer. He is a guy who had 38 tackles, 10 and a half sacks, 10 sacks while earning first team all Big 12 honors. His calling card is his bend. He gets around the edge and he does it with speed. Gumby-like description of his bend. Romelo Height, I like it. Dejon Stribbling feels like a reach. Romelo Height, I'll take it. A need has been addressed by the San Francisco 49ers. I like Romelo Height. I like this pick. Again, I had this pick on Friday with Kruger on, look at it this way, with all the names that Larry has used, with him being the draft expert, Niners haven't drafted one of his names yet. My name is off the board. Romelo Height. Boom. I'm glad I got one right. Fuck. I like it. They still don't have a left guard. They still do not have a left guard. Now they got another pick in this round. The 49ers are going to be coming up again at 26, the 90th pick in the draft. But I think I'm going to have to go ahead and do a video about that because this live stream is over 2.5 hours. And all I can do is say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We got almost 5. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to keep going. But what I got to do is I got to take a leak. But I do like Romelo Height from Texas Tech, the edge rusher. I really, really do. I think that this is a good pick. I need to take a leak. I'm going to get an ice cube and we're going to come on back. Don't you go anywhere. Blindside Brian says, let's go. Now we're on a quest for a guard. Jennings Dunker could be there. A few picks from now. Let me take a real quick break here, everybody. Hold on. I think I got, if I go to my media assets here, bathroom break. Be right back. Wait. Yeah, turn that off. Bathroom break. Be right back. Enjoy the draft. I got to take a leak. I will be right back. We are going to stick here through 90 for sure. Don't you go anywhere. All right, he's back. Romelo Height is still the draft pick. I feel good about that draft pick. I really do. I do feel good about that. I don't think you can complain about that draft pick at all. I like Romelo Height. This is a player that the Niners need at a position that they absolutely need. No problems there. Man, we're far away from the Niners' next pick. Hopefully this round goes fast. I did want to spend a little time with my son tonight, but hey, we got an NFL draft to get through. Commanders here at 71. What do you got here, Commanders? The Niners trade Brandon Ayuk. My wife just said we need to get a beer in San Francisco this September. Let's do it. Why wait to September? We can do it before then. I'm in the school of Ratto. The mock drafts are useless. Iceman, they really are. I mean, once again, we see that what we think is going to happen and what the Niners actually do are two totally different things. And it's a little useless for the Niners, that's for sure. Did you enjoy that chair time, JP from the 510? Hopefully the chair took good care of you while I was away. I really hope that happened. Let's go. Now on a quest for a guard. Blindside Brian, go get a guard. Go get a guard. If they honestly walk away with Jennings Dunker here at 90, I'll feel better about it. I will feel better about this. All right, what do we got here? Is this Mark Rippon? Who is this? What Washington Commander former quarterback is prattling on? Let's go here. Pick is in. I need a lot of picks to come in. This is an awful lot about girls flag football. With a 71st pick, Commanders, get to it. Let's go. Antonio Williams, wide receiver. Wow, it took a long time to get there. Just get that man off the stage. Get that man off the stage. Another Clemson wide receiver. Another Clemson player off the board. Emmanuel Pregnon, still there. When you talk about offensive tackles, obviously Jennings Dunker, Caleb Tiernan is a guy from Northwestern that I think the 49ers could consider. Austin Barber, a tackle from Florida, is another name that could be here. Emmanuel Pregnon and Brian Barker, the second from Duke. If either one of those names is off the board for the Niners, Jalen Farmer, the guard from Kentucky, Inez Cooper, I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't. My bladder can't take it. Look, I had to tap out too. There's no doubt. Bruce, thank you very much. 49er Red Zone. Thank you for being here. Damon, since you're staying until 90, I'm rolling up a big Bertha. Get in there, Marty. Get in there. Don't be afraid. Look, I'm going to bust it out a bowl, but my son is home, so I'm not going to smoke down here. He might come wandering in. Jack is home tonight. Ozzy's with the grandparents this evening. Tacario Davis, the cornerback from Washington, off the board to the Bengals. Off the board to the Bengals. Fine, you can have them. You can take them. Damon, you know you could do some whippets. Have the wah, 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 wah NFL draft. No, we're not going to do that. Damon, you're a gamer. Staying for pick 90. Yeah, Enrique, what are we doing? I mean, it's a weekend. It's a Friday night. Got a nice little cocktail. Got some more. Got, you know, I poured myself a little bit more. Got some ice in here. Cooled this down. Why not? Look, I like Romelo Height. I really do. I think that this is a 6'3", 240-pound guy who bends like Gumby around the edge and is going to get some sacks for the 49ers next year. I like the Romelo Height pick. I really, really do. Do I love the pick before it? No. Stribbling, I think, is a huge reach where Romelo Height was the right player at the right pick at the right time. No problems there. No problems with Romelo Height. I like the pick. Damon, man of the people. He always shows up big. Again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this. Damon, I've been with you since the 1050 days, brother. Thank you, Rocco. That means an awful lot. Thank you so much. Go ahead, hit like and subscribe if you have not. How's our subscription base doing right now? How are the subs doing right now? What are we looking at? We're at 51,132 subs here on the channel. Thank you so much. Get me to 100,000. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, tell an enemy that Damon Bruce is over here now on YouTube doing it and doing it better than either radio station in town. Thank you. I was supposed to have Bonte Hill join me yesterday. NBC Sports got scared. Wouldn't let him on my channel. All right. I see how it is. Why do people dislike the Height pick? Was around when he was projected. We needed a needy pass rusher, especially in a new defensive coordinator system. Yeah, I don't know who doesn't like it. Who was that? Jaden Arnold. Thank you very much for checking in. Yeah, who is down on the Romelo Height pick? I like that. Damon, any word on Joey Bosa? Yeah, I don't think Joey Bosa is signing with the 49ers now. I don't. Dunker, 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 long tail, dunker. I've been with you too since the ticket, D. Well, thank you, Ned. Thank you. Anybody who's been rolling with me since KNBR 1050 days, oi, oi, oi. That's all I can tell you. Thank you so very, very much. We're related at this point. Who's copying new jeans? NBC Sports is woke. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that they're afraid to have Bonte hop on my webpage, my channel. I've been around since the 1050 days too. I called in with some stupid takes. Damon ripped my ass. Jim, you probably had it coming. Thank you. Oh. Those 1050 days. Indeed. Malachi Fields, the wide receiver from Notre Dame, goes to the New York Giants. Man, Giants getting better. Giants are getting better. I like the Giants draft right now. No problems there. Fields, better than Stribbling. Maybe. Maybe he's not quite the deep threat that Stribbling is. He's a hell of a player, though. I like Fields. There's a lot of Malachis in this draft. Monty 510, you're right. Malachis, there are more Malachis here than we've seen in a while. Yeah, look at it this way, Rocco. You're giving love to my mom. I thank you very much. She appreciates it too. To the Duchess. Cheers. I'm crunching an ice cube. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 picks away from what the Niners do at 90. Their second pick of the third round after trading back into the third. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Again, if you're rolling with us here, I thank you so very much. I appreciate you being here. Let me check some information just going on with the hoi polloi. We got Nick Wagner saying that the Niners' new defensive end, Romelo Height, fills a specific need, adding speed rush off the edge. Unlikely to be a three-down end right away. He should have a shot to step into that Bryce Huff role, the one that they wanted for him before the injuries. Height had 10 sacks and 58 pressures last year at Texas Tech, and it was very good in the Big 12. Yeah, I mean, that's why I came to him when I was looking at, Larry and I playing the old who should they draft game. And I did think that in the fourth round, if he was still there, he was going to be a steal for the Niners. $4,000 BTF says trade up for Dunker. Trade up for Dunker. Again, I do think that left guard is that important. They don't have next year's starting left guard. Let me tell you, if they got Dunker right here, I'd feel really good about it. Jaden Arnold, I'm building inside a plane. I'm building listening to Damon and Glad. All the other streams are some of the most annoying media I've ever seen. Thank you. I'm working at a building inside a plane. Huh? You're in an airplane right now? In a building? It's like, it feels like Inception. I don't know what's going on there. Matt says he's 12 in now. Is it 12 beers? Damon, is the Oregon guard gone? No, Pregnon is still there. As a matter of fact, ESPN has him listed right now as the best guard available, followed by Brian Parker II and Inez Cooper. Jake Farmer, the guard out of Kentucky, also available. Overall, Jermon McCoy, the corner from Tennessee, still at the top of the best available. Zachariah Branch, the wide receiver from Georgia. Chris Brazel, the second from Tennessee, also a wide receiver. And then it's Emmanuel Pregnon, fourth best overall available from ESPN, whatever that means. I remember when you first started, a lot of people were afraid of you. They were afraid of your truth because you were brutally honest. And that's what I loved about you. Yeah, this market wasn't ready for me, man. It wasn't. Look at it this way. I didn't come out here to make friends, and for a long time, I didn't. But I thought it was a good show, and I'm glad that you did too. Thank you. Caleb Douglas, wide receiver, Texas Tech, off the board to the Miami Dolphins at 75. 15 picks away. Ned John 6 says, figure we go back easily to 1050 and the fun Acme Chop House cocktail or two in 2010 while we chatted about Radnich. Oh, those glory days. Glory days. Thank you. And I miss the Acme Chop House, man. I don't even know what they call that place now. What are they calling that place? They changed the name of that so many times, but when it was a really great steakhouse, I got hooked up in there. It was a good time. Damon, I've been with you since KNBR. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate that so very, very much. By the way, 86 super chats have come in during today's live stream. Can we get me to 100? I mean, I'm working overtime for you. Damon, I can't believe you're asking for tips like a stripper. Hey, tuck that buck in the G string. Who am I to pretend we ain't stripping at this point? Let's get you back on the board here. Caleb Douglas from Texas Tech. Again, Texas Tech players going left and right in this draft. And the Niners just picked one up in edge rusher Romelo Height. I love the Romelo Height pick more than I do the wide receiver pick, without a doubt. I think that the Romelo Height pick is the best pick so far in this draft. I know they've only taken 2 players, but Dejon Stribbling was a huge reach. I don't think the Height pick is a huge reach. Again, I identified him as a player the Niners should take, and they did. So I feel like I officially got one right, and I'm happy about that. Over 1,000 people watching, 250 of you on YouTube right now, but we're doing great on Twitter. We're doing great on Twitch tonight. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for being a part of this. Joey Porter and Joey Porter Jr. and Sr. The Porters are up here picking for the Steelers, obviously. Every Steeler fan there, very excited about Joey Porter. Drew Aller, the quarterback from Penn State. Drew Aller is going to suck at the next level. I'm sorry. Drew Aller was so overrated at Penn State. Not a Drew Aller guy at all. At all. Damon, been with you since the Indiana dorm days. Remember the hallway meet at the gym? Who is copying new jeans? Who is it? Who are you? Tell me who you are. Dude, do we hang out at IU together? I mean, if we hung out at IU together in the dorm, tell me who you really are. Tell me who you really are. Vegan Yosh says Shasky has to thank you for his career. Look, I helped get him in the door, but Joe's own talent got him his career. The fact that he's still on the radio and I'm not is an irony that is not lost on me, but I'm so happy for Joe. I love the Butcher Boy. Hopping on a guard for 90. Been listening since you took over for Larry on the Sports Phone days. 680. Great work. Ricky, thank you very, very much, Ricky. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm not a Drew Aller guy at all. I think Drew Aller is so overrated. Just not a Drew Aller guy. Good luck. Good luck. So, by the way, I guess we can officially say now that with Drew Aller being picked by the Steelers, there will not be a trade for Mac Jones. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing Aaron Rodgers play football anytime soon or maybe even ever again. I mean, I would have gone with Nussmeier before I went ahead and drafted Drew Aller. You can have him. You can have that guy. So Drew Aller from Penn State is officially off the board. Good for him. Niners pick at 90. We are at pick 77. We're 13 away from the Niners being back in business. I mean, would they reach the point where they actually thought about trading up to address the need, to address the actual need that is still on their offensive line? By the way, they were just talking about George Pickens a little bit, who the Cowboys went ahead and franchised today, which means he could be in play for a franchise and trade. But no, I didn't. It was just an old story from Adam Schefter. All right, Packers pick is in. John Kuhn. There you go, John Kuhn, looking good in your Green Bay Packers zip up. What do you got? Chris McClellan, defensive tackle from Missouri. Niners weren't interested in him. No problem. He is not a left guard. You can have him. You can have him. Again, I want to get back to what the Niners did in this draft that I do like. I do like Romelo Height. I do. I think that this is a guy who is going to get to the quarterback in this season. He's going to help the 49ers in this season, especially in a year where, Bosa and, who is going to be ready to play in week 1 is a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question. So I'm good with the Romelo Height pick. I really am. I feel good about that pick. I like that pick. It's a pick that I suggested. Is that why you like it, Damon? No, it just made sense. I thought the guy had the right bend to get around the edge and get to quarterbacks, and I like the pick. Is he an every down player? No, he's a third down pass rush specialist. And the Niners need that. He could be their D Ford. He could be their D Ford, and I thought pass rush was just a huge need. And this is a pass rush specialist. Romelo Light. No, dude, this guy's not light. This is 6'3", 240. This is a big boy. Romelo Height. I like it. No, I'm not grading these things out right now, but Max says that the draft is sitting at a D+ right now. Is that what the Niners are looking at? Their overall grade? Well, grades that we're giving today and tomorrow don't really matter. I will tell you that. 49ers defensive end, Bosa, Michael, White, Samo, and Height. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I really think that that's a not bad haul of defensive ends. I mean, does Bosa and Michael Williams, are they playing in the first 3 weeks of this upcoming season? I hope they are. All right. We're in commercial break again. The Colts pick is in. We're getting closer and closer to what the Niners are going to do at 90. In the meantime, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, and thank you. If you're a member, I really, really thank you. That is a wonderful way to help support the channel. Thank you so much for doing just that. Just being here, hanging out with us tonight. Grab yourself a cocktail. We got nothing to do but hang out tonight. Nothing to do. Jack's still a half an hour away from bedtime. It's a Friday night. He's going to be up a little bit late. I got to be honest with you. I'm thinking about dinner already. Just raiding the fridge when I get upstairs. Have we reached the point in the draft where they start saying, all right, go faster? I hope. The real draft is the friends we made along the way. Big dog. Oh, the friends we made along the way. Thank you. Ham Stribbling. Hi, Damon. This is the first time I've watched you live. Well, I'm glad that the algorithm got us together. Ham, hit like and subscribe, and I hope this isn't the last time you watch me live. Thank you very much for being here. All right, Colts pick is in, and here's, oh, wow, Pat McAfee doing 2 shows tonight. All right, Pat McAfee back out there. He's saying, thank the house band. Okay. Flag on the play. He's doing magic. This is not necessary. Pat McAfee. I don't know if you're just trying to be a heel now because that was your role during WrestleMania. It's clear that he's using the fake thumb trick. The fake thumb trick, that is a plastic thumb. We know what's going on there. Pat, you fooled absolutely no one. Don't get too cute. Pat McAfee getting a case of the two populars and the two cutes. Feel like John Lynch has got a little bit of a case of the two cutes, if you don't mind me saying. Damon, I watch a lot of you, catch you a lot on Spotify. Well, Ham, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you so much for listening on Spotify. Again, I don't care where or how, just that you do listen. And I thank you so very, very much. A.J. Halsey, another safety that I would have loved to have seen the 49ers draft off the board. They didn't get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. They didn't get Bud Clark. They didn't get A.J. Halsey. So there you go. All the safeties that I really, really liked in this draft, gone. This is a first-team all-SEC safety. And what LSU does is produce very good secondary players. Niners will not be tapping into that in this draft, obviously. Xanderboy Productions just checking in. Good to have you here, Xanderboy. Thank you so much. You were a big part of last night's show. Man, that sucks. I thought that Halsey would have been a nice little pick for the Niners. Again, I think you could have taken Halsey all the way back where the 49ers took Dejon Stribbling, and Dejon Stribbling is still on the board. We always cheers and thanks our new members. Blindside Brian has become a member here tonight. We got one. You're officially on Team Bruce now. Thank you very much, Blindside Brian. You get a cheers. You get a cocktail salute. All right, let's go. We're 10 picks away now. The Falcons pick is in. Again, who's announcing this pick? Use some graphics here, ESPN. No safety, Max Plus saying no safety for us this year. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're taking a safety. Zachariah Branch, wide receiver from Georgia, a wide receiver that I really liked. He is now off the board. Again, I don't think anybody had, but the 49ers themselves, Dejon Stribbling drafted ahead of Zachariah Branch. Fuji Simeon, thank you so much for hosting a live stream event. Thank you, Fuji. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on by and hanging out with us here tonight. Fuji is one of the most generous, consistent super chatters for yours truly and Kruger, and we thank you, Fuji. Thank you so much. Xanderboy says, trading back in the Winters trade, we gained 3 picks in this draft. Not bad. Yeah, we'll see. But again, that trick, the pick already got traded in the Winters deal, right? Let me see where the Niners are. Share this instead. Here we go. Here's what the Niners have remaining in this draft right here, right now. The 2 picks have been Dejon Stribbling and Romelo Height. Remember, they came into this draft with 6 picks. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks remaining. So they did turn 6 to 8. I do like that. And number 5, that 5th rounder is still there via trade. So, okay. Ravens are selecting right now. What do you got? That is a purple suit, sir. That is purple. That's an awful lot of purple. He's just up there talking a lot of shit in the city of Pittsburgh. Got to respect it. Got to respect it. Blindside Brian again, who's already become a member and has already dropped several supers, is coming in again. My CC got stolen. I forget to change the sub. We had a baby. Oh, dude, you had a baby? Well, mazel. Jacoby Lane, another wide receiver, off the board there to the Baltimore Ravens. Gold Club San Francisco tonight. Buffets on me. No. I've never been a strip club guy. Really, never have been. Gold Club used to be right across the street from the old KNBR studios. You didn't catch me in there very often. Brett Euchre. Thanks for the stream, DB. Thank you, Brett. Thank you. I remember when I used to call you Bree Tucker. He put the U in there now to separate it. Thank you. I think we learned together, right? 9 more picks. 9 more picks until the Niners are up. Again, we've gone through this much together. Why stop now? We are drifting deep into our 3rd hour together, just hanging out here. I honestly thought I was going to hang around for 1 pick, but here we are, just kicking it. I can't stop. I can't quit you, babe. I can't quit you. Again, I could be in Vegas tonight going to fish shows. Nah, I'm here hanging out with you. James Foster. 9 more picks. That's it, James. 9 more picks. We got Ham saying, I am moving to San Francisco this summer. Well, that's the thing. So if you're moving here, drop that San Fran shit right now. It's San Francisco. Moving to San Fran this summer. Excited to finally see my Niners play. Where you're going to have to go down to Santa Clara to do that, but glad that you're here. Vegan Yosh saying, let's get Damon to 100 supers. We are at 94. We're on our way. I was hoping for 30 tonight. We're doing an outstanding job. Thank you very much. Our girl Haberman. Thank you, Damon, for keeping us all company in our time of need. I mean, what else are we doing tonight? Jaguars pick is in, by the way. Let's go. It feels like it's picking up here. Trade up. We got 2 left guards right there. Just get one of them. Yeah, look, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be happy if the 49ers walk away here with a left guard. Pregnon, just sitting there. Brian Parker II, the kid from Duke, just sitting there. Farmer, Inez Cooper, just sitting there. Jennings Dunker, just sitting there. Caleb Tiernan, the kid from Northwestern. Again, more of a tackle than a guard, but, we're not going to play you because we got Trent Williams. Shouldn't be hard to explain that to him. Here's the real question. Richard the Lion says, can we get to 500 likes? Can we get to 500? We're at 417 right now. Pregnon or Dunker would be fantastic for the 49ers. And there'd be plenty of value attached to that. The value that they gave up at the top of the 2nd round would be recaptured right here if they were able to get a left guard, Pregnon or Dunker here. Damon, I've been living in Boston my whole life. Well, I'm going to tell you that I think that Boston and San Francisco are very much like sister cities. They really are. Boston and San Francisco, very provincial towns. I hope you like it when you get here. It might take a little while before it feels like home, but eventually that home feeling kicks in. I love San Francisco. I wasn't born here, but the plan is to die here. There's no doubt about it. And with the way that this draft is going, that could be tonight. Thanks for the hang. Again, Ned, we got to go through it together. We got a great community here. We got nearly 1,200 people watching right now across all platforms. And I thank you. Thank you. We're still cooking here. Bregnon at 90 would make my sitting through all the rest of the first 3 rounds absolutely worth it. Come on, Niners, make it happen. Again, she's a big Oregon fan. I wasn't the biggest of Pregnon fans. I really wasn't. But at this point, yeah, go ahead. Dunker first, Pregnon second. I'd be good with either. I really would. Get another offensive lineman to play and improve the interior of the 49ers offensive line. Who says no? Other than the Niners. They are so reluctant to draft an offensive lineman. And again, it crept up on them with the Trent Williams deal this year. And I just think it's time that they admit that without the right offensive line, you don't have the right football team. Again, we got M. Bolinas agreeing with me. San Francisco and Boston are similar, minus the brutal winters in Boston and the overt, almost proud of it racism. Yeah, I think San Francisco is a hell of a town. You're going to love it out here. Give me Pregnon or Dunker. The question from Vegan Yosh, who's just trying to get me to 100 subs or 100 supers tonight, saying, DB, do you watch any anime? None. Anime is a phenomenon that has completely passed me by. The only legitimate anime movie that I've watched all of in my life is K-pop Demon Hunters, and that's because I got 2 kids under the age of 7. K-pop Demon Hunters is a big deal for their age group, a really big deal. Dunker is my pick. Jim from Pittsburgh. Give me Dunker. Give me Dunker. I'd feel good about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, so what do you hate anime? No, I don't hate anime. I just don't watch. We got here. Damon, don't watch no anime. Have you seen his wife? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, Big Citrus is off the board. Dominique Orange from Iowa State. Big Citrus, one of the best nicknames in the draft this year, off the board. I talked about him today with Kruger, maybe being an option for the 49ers in this draft. Big Citrus off the board. Yeah, dude, I got kids. I got a beautiful wife. Rebuilding a broadcasting career every day here on YouTube. I don't have time for anime. I am become death destroyer of words. Said Damon, the plan was to die after the 49ers drafted like a true franchise that wants to win. Looks like I'm going to have one more year left. I don't think it's that dark of a situation. The Niners do want to win. And maybe, again, look, maybe Dejon Stribbling is going to be awesome. I just think that they wildly reached on the pick. I think that if they had not drafted Dejon Stribbling with the first pick of the second round, he is still here at pick 83, available for the Carolina Panthers. We are 7 picks away, by the way, from the Niners. Let's go. Is that Kuechly? Is that Luke Kuechly walking out to make this pick? He's getting right to it. Your reigning NFC South champs, the Carolina Panthers pick won't be an offensive lineman. Yet Chaz Brazil II, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Yeah, they really reinvested in their offensive line. And what do you know? They had a much better year last year than a lot of people expected. It's amazing how really good offensive line investment and success in the NFL walk hand in hand. That's why I want the 49ers to make some offensive line investment. Marcos, I'm surprised that they haven't traded Pearsall after picking up the wide receiver. Yeah, I'm surprised too. But look, they're not trading away a player that they like. The only time Ricky Pearsall hasn't been good for them is coming immediately off injury or off bullet wounds. When he has been out there, he's actually produced. That's why they're, I never thought, I know that Larry had a source that said that they're thinking about trading him. I never bought that. You do not take a player number one overall, actually have him produce when he's been healthy, and then walk away in the last year of a rookie deal. Or not the last year, but the third year of a rookie deal. No. And I knew that they were going to keep him. Jesse, the Niners front office has been successful. The problem is that the Rams and the Seahawks are just better. I'm ready for change. Yeah, look, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not saying that the Niners have been lapped here, but it does feel like the better general managers live in Los Angeles and in Seattle than what the 49ers have. What somebody earlier today in a super chat basically said, John Lynch is the Dan Campbell of general managers. There's a lot to like, but just doesn't deliver the ultimate win. Again, it's 10 years in here. They have been betrayed by their instincts, I think, more than they've been buoyed by them. Was that Jake Delhomme? Yeah, was that Jake Delhomme? Was that Luke Kuechly? I don't know. You take the helmet off the player and the number off the player and the jersey off the player. I don't know. Dorian Foster says, Damon, I'm going to bet that the Niners trade the 90th pick for a fourth round pick and 2 blow pops. What flavor blow pops? What are we talking about? We got grape? Cherry? What blow pop is coming back to the Niners in return? By the way, the tattooed Jesus says Greener just got $100 million from the Eagles. Now we know what the Niners didn't try. Cheap bastards. Well, look, you're going to see big, huge deals for everyone who produces in the league. Again, $20 million is the starting price point for production at a Pro Bowl level in this league now. What used to be reserved for the best of the best of the best of the best price point that makes you shudder when you see it is now standard operating procedure. You're watching a league that has a $20 million price point across every position, now center included. If Dejon Stribbling gets Rookie of the Year, we're going to get pie in our faces. Oh, they'll look at it this way. This video will be on Awful Announcing. This video, this live stream of today's show will be mocked from heaven to hell. And I'd be fine with that if he's the Rookie of the Year. If he's the Rookie of the Year, guess what? John Lynch is going to become Executive of the Year. Because nobody was, I think, going to take Dejon Stribbling as early as the Niners did. Hey, Vegan Yosh just dropping an F the Dodgers just because. Hey, took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. It's amazing how the Giants are taking 2 out of 3 against a lot of teams and then get a chance to sweep and just come up lame and limp in that we're trying to sweep at game. All right. Selecting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Mickey Rooney. No, excuse me. It's Gene Deckerhoff, the former voice of the Buccaneers. I love it. Bringing up an old broadcaster. Love it. Give these old broadcasters their flowers while they can still enjoy them. Did he just retire this year? I do think he did just retire this year. Good for him getting a little shine here on the draft. Gene Deckerhoff, everybody. Damon, it was Luke Delhomme. Thank you very much. Ted Hurst. Now, here is a guy that absolutely rocketed up draft boards. Ted Hurst from Georgia State is huge production and great talent from a smaller school. I like Ted Hurst an awful lot. Larry tuned me into him, and I went and watched an awful lot of tape. You know, what are you going to see from a Georgia State player? Because you watch 0 Georgia State games in real time. This guy's got great leaping ability, great hands, great size, great speed. Ted Hurst to the Buccaneers could be a huge benefit to Baker Mayfield. This guy is a player. I like Ted Hurst more than I liked, I'm sorry to say it, everybody's brand new best friend, Dejon Stribbling. I think Ted Hurst would have been the better pick. Chef Eugene, a little $5 for the jar. Hopefully the Niners will go 2-1 in good picks. Hey, I hope they go 3-0. I hope I'm wrong about everything. I hope all of my instincts about this player being drafted too high are laughed at. I hope he stands out in training camp. I hope I'm giggling about this show a few years from now when he is the best player that the 49ers have in their offense. I just won't bet on it. And I won't promise it to you at this particular time. We got BC 16808. Damon, what's going on from Eastern Long Island? What are you out on islip? What are you way out on islip? How east are we getting on Long Island? East islip? BC, good to have you here. New York in the house. James Foster says, just know that the 49ers have a plan for Stribbling, Ayuk, and Debo, both produced as rookies. All 3 players were drafted in picks 25 and 36. James, I hope you're right. I hope you're right, and I do hope that he is an instant Debo sort of replacement because we know that Shanahan wants that. But are you really honestly going to have even targets and snaps for this guy this year? Targets and snaps. That's how I'm going to be drafting Dejon Stribbling. Not by touchdowns, not by catches, not by yardage. Target and snaps. Will he be targeted 25 times in his rookie year? I wouldn't bet on it. I just wouldn't bet on it. We got a trade alert here. The Chargers have traded their pick to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns getting all sorts of aggressive in this draft. Spencer Fano, KC Concepcion, Denzel Boston, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. The Browns have done well for themselves in this draft so far amongst a group of players that I really liked. Only time will tell. I'm sure Cleveland will figure out a way to fuck it all up. It's what they do. But head coach Todd Monken has got a very interesting rookie class here. And let's see what the Cleveland Browns do. I wouldn't be surprised if this were Jennings Dunker right here, by the way, for the Cleveland Browns. Let's see. Let's see what the Cleveland Browns do. With the 86 picks, Kimberly Fields, their social media director, what does she do? I don't know. Austin Barber, tackle from Florida. I had it right. I had him pegged on the offensive line, but they go Austin Barber over Jennings Dunker, a 6'6", 318-pound tackle. I thought that right here, Cleveland would go offensive line. They did, but they did not take a player that has been rumored in the Niners. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I did think the Browns needed an offensive line. They did need to readdress that, and this is a good pick for Cleveland. Damon, you're coming up on the 3.5 hour mark for this stream. David, we are, aren't we? This is like an NFL game. This is like when we do an NFL live stream, doing a 49ers watch party. We're doing a draft watch party. You're just kicking it, just hanging out, draft picks, anxiety, and cocktails. That's what we're serving up here. Wow, here's a good stat for you. The Browns had 0 returning offensive linemen with the 5+ starts last season. Yeah, I knew that they were about to go offensive line. I really did. Dante Polk says John Lynch is so clueless he's going to trade his next pick for a 7th-round pick. Here's the thing. I don't think they're clueless. They're not clueless. They just reach too much, too often. And there's math to back that up. I'm going to show it to you one more time because it's real. It's happening. Nobody in the first 3 rounds reaches as much as the 49ers. Here's the proof. What the Niners do, they outdraft the big board by about 20 picks. They outdraft the big board by about 20 picks. And I think they absolutely fell into that with Dejon Stribbling. Now, when it comes to Romelo Height, I like that. I feel good about Romelo Height. I do. I like Romelo Height. But the Niners hopefully don't fall into the same old trap. Getting closer and closer to what the Niners are going to do. Will Kamarick off the board, the tight end from Ohio State. He is gone. I don't think the Niners were interested in him. So no problems there. Again, we're not looking at Jennings Dunker off the board. We're not looking at Emmanuel Pregnon off the board here. We're not looking at Brian Parker II. Again, this is a place where need best overall, when you're kind of arguing between the two. You know, Pregnon, Jennings Dunker, ESPN has both of them as the 2 of the 4 best remaining overall picks. They still have Jermon McCoy. Somebody at ESPN has had Jermon McCoy up there as the best pick since the 2nd round started. He hasn't heard his name yet. Then it's Pregnon. Then it's Keontae Scott, the cornerback from Miami, who's very good. Then it's Jennings Dunker. Jason Kilgore from South Carolina is a safety who absolutely needs to be brought up here. And Mike Washington Jr. remains, Mike Washington Jr., the fastest running time from the draft, from the position of running back. He is on the board. Looking at him as a possibility for the Niners at this point in the draft is not out of the question. The Jaguars pick is in. All right, Jacksonville, what do you got? What do you got? We're in commercial now here at ESPN. Yeah, the South Carolina safety is still there, Max. I hear you. Jelon Kilgore is still there. Jalen Kilgore, excuse me, not Jelon. Sorry. I'm going to tell you, the whiskey is kicking in at this point in time, but I have been drinking with you for the better part of 3 hours. Kilgore from South Carolina. I would not mind that at all. Go ahead. Get me Kilgore. Get me Pregnon. Get me Jennings Dunker. If one of those 3 names comes up at 90, I'm going to feel really good. I'm going to feel really good about how this draft ended. Don't love how it started here today, but you could wrap up with Romelo Height and a player that I really, really like here. So let's see what they do. Let's go. Get Jacksonville and Chicago out of the way. We're 2 picks away from the Niners at 90. It's going to be a running back, and Weiner fans are going to start crying. James Foster. I do think that, Kalon Black is a guy you can get tomorrow. Guy's never fumbled. He would fit perfect. But Washington's special. He's fast as hell. I know we didn't watch an awful lot of Arkansas football last year, but this guy's tape is legit. Pregnon, gone. Gone to Jacksonville. There you go. There's a player that the Niners could have used. Give me Jennings Dunker. Give me Jennings Dunker. Give me Mike Washington Jr. Give me Jalon Kilgore. Here's the thing. Pregnon fit the best available need more than he fit the player I wanted the Niners to draft. I never thought that Pregnon was really the guy. I'm down on Oregon players. I watched Indiana just hand every single kid on that Oregon team their ass at the Peach Bowl. So I'm just off of Oregon players. I really am. So Pregnon, I'm not gonna classify that as the one that got away. By the way, we're officially at 100 supers. Thank you very, very much. Chef Eugene, again, $5 for the jar. Let's hope we go 2-1. Just so you know, the 49ers have a plan for Stribbling. We already did that. 100 supers, though, are in today, and I thank you for that. I do know that our girl, Michelle Haberman, wasn't fine with that. Okay, fine. Give me Jennings Dunker and his fabulous redheaded mullet. He didn't even type redheaded, but, whenever you can get a ginger, you go ahead and you do that. He does have incredible hair. Incredible hair. Austin Pleasance had incredible hair. Chicago Bears are taking Xavier Thomas, wide receiver LSU. Again, a player that is not going to get in the way of what I think are the 2 best remaining available options for the 49ers. I would love to see this be Jennings Dunker or Jalon Kilgore. Jennings Dunker or Jalon Kilgore. Right here, I would feel much better about what we have seen so far. The Bears pick is in. The Niners are on the clock. Here we go. And a moment, 3 hours and 38 minutes in the making. What do we got? Oh, the tension is thick. You can feel it right down in your plums. No doubt about it. All right, Niners, don't F it up. Monty 510. Dunker D's nuts. I am become Death Destroyer words. Let's go. Let's go. Here we are. So here's what I'm going to do. If I hate the pick, I'm going to down this and just end the show. If I like the pick, we're going to talk about it here for a minute. Niners are on the board. Pick is in. Niners select at 90 here in the 3rd round. Kalon Black from Indiana. How about that? Probably could have gotten him tomorrow, but okay. Kalon Black from Indiana. This guy never fumbles. He is a short yard back. This is going to be a touchdown vulture for Christian McCaffrey. This is my favorite pick of the draft so far. Kalon Black. I've had the 49ers drafting him for weeks now. I really like this. Kalon Black from Indiana. Let's go. I like this pick an awful lot, not just because he went to Indiana, but he is the running back that I do think the Niners need. He's combination of short yardage, yet explosive. He doesn't catch the ball much out of the backfield. This is a running back, but he runs in short yardage situations. Now, who is the guard that he's going to be running behind? I don't know on the left-hand side, but I do like this. But they have basically replaced last year's rookies. When you think about Jordan Watkins and Jordan James, the two of them who didn't get much playing time have been replaced by two other young, hungry players who are going to be challenging last year's picks for playing time, which means are last year's picks a failure? Or is this just a really good pick right now? Clip it. I mean, I'm stunned by that. I really am. Kalon Black right here in the third round, ahead of an offensive lineman. I'm surprised. But I like the player. I really do. I like Kalon Black an awful lot. Let's go Hoosiers. The Niners decided we're going to make Damon happy at the end of this show above anything else. Probably good move for them. Again, you could have traded back and gotten Kalon Black. I don't think Kalon Black is going in this round unless the Niners take him. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Never Daunted says, we're also going to pick up Surratt. Look, I would have rather had Surratt than you-know-who at the top of the second. But there you go. I don't mind that at all. With over 400 people watching right now on YouTube, with nearly 1,400 people watching across all of the platforms, I thank you for being here, and I do like Kalon Black. This guy is a part of Indiana's winning culture. He was a player that came with Cignetti from SMU. He's a winning football player. He's great in short yardage. He is also explosive in the middle of the field. Not much of a pass catcher, but this is a football player. This is a guy who absolutely gets in the end zone. This is a red zone threat. This is a low red zone threat. This is someone who is going to devalue Christian McCaffrey's fantasy production next year because he's going to be a bit of a touchdown vulture. I like the pick. I could also see Kyle Shanahan basically saying, yeah, I'm not going to give anybody but Christian McCaffrey a carry. But I like Kalon Black. I really, really do. I'm glad that he is here. I thought that he'd be available tomorrow. The Niners overreaching continues to be a theme, but at least in this instance, they overreach for a player that I really do like. And by the way, I am officially ready to wrap up a broadcast that is almost, we're closer to 4 hours than we are at 3 here. But the Raiders pick is in. What are the Raiders are doing at 91? Let's find out. Then it's the Cowboys. Then it's the Rams. Those are two rivals. I'm curious. Not going to lie. JMU, not SMU. Did I say SMU? Pardon me. Yeah. James Madison. Sorry, I've been drinking for 3 hours at this point. Damon, getting a Raiders Mendoza jersey or a 49ers Kalon Black jersey. Here's the thing. You cannot buy a jersey of the team that you cover. I don't really cover the Raiders. Mendoza has done more for me than any other football player in my lifetime. That Kalon Black jersey doesn't sound like the worst idea I ever heard. It really doesn't. The more Hoosiers you can put on the 49ers, it sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. What are the Raiders doing here now? High Life Boy says, I thought Ty Simpson was a bad pick. All three of our picks combined make that pick look good. I do think that they could have taken every single player that they have taken here so far and gotten them later in the draft. I really do. I think the Niners are going to be a good football team, but I think the Niners are a bad drafting football team. I mean, a decade of evidence to suggest that their instincts lead them in the wrong direction is upon us. Raiders, what are you doing at 91? Matt Millen. What do you got, Matt? Trey Zune, the center from Texas A&M. Again, Jennings Dunker is still out there. Cheers, everybody. I like Kalon Black. I love Kalon Black. I'm going to be excited to root for him this year. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go kiss my wife on the cheek and my boy on the cheek. I'm going to put him to bed. And I thank all of you for being here with me. I'm also going to be checking on my prize picks. I mean, this game's underway, right? We got some games underway. The first thing I need to happen in my prize pick lineup this evening, the first thing I need to have happen is I need a scoreless first inning between the Dodgers and the Cubs, and I need a hit out of Devers and a hit out of Willy Adames tonight, and I'll be turning $5 into $18.75. Check out Prize Picks. It is fantastic. You can check out team picks. You can just select winners, totals on any major game. It's real simple, though. You pick more or less. Download Prize Picks today, and when you play $5, you get 50 in lineups. To download the app, use code HMA. Use promo code HMA to take advantage of that. So thanks to Prize Picks. Thanks to my man Ike of Ike Sandwiches. Go get yourself something delicious for lunch tomorrow, lunch on Sunday. Hopefully there's an Ike's around you soon. And if there isn't an Ike's around wherever you live, it's officially time for you to move. I thank every single one of you for coming on here and hanging out with me tonight. There are a million options right now across YouTube. Like, it's an overpopulated market with content creators. It feels like everyone went live, but who else went live for nearly 4 hours by themselves? If you're saying that's you, D. Bruce, well, then hit me with a like, hit me with a subscribe, hit me with a notify. By the way, Dejon Barham, off the edge from Michigan, an edge that I like, but not as much as I like Romelo Height. I think the Niners really got Height and Black right. Maybe reach for both, but I really, really like those players. I didn't think for a millisecond that anyone in the NFL was going to be drafting Dejon Stribbling, but the Niners did with the first pick of the second round. I wish him, and I wish all of you, the very, very best as you move out in your day, in your weekend. We go to Kilgore, trade back for Dunker or the Duke offensive lineman. Thank you very much. That was when we had a pick before the Niners, and it's time for Shanna Lynch to dunk on everyone. Or you could just fade it all to black with Kalon Black. I thank you for being a part of this show tonight. Thank you. I really mean it. Thank you for hanging out with us here. And please do remember, as you go about the rest of your weekend, that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.